Adeye. Hey, Tegisti, Samira, Mulu. Me too, Tegisti. Ababa. Thank you, Deach Merit. Let's go, let's share. I got a special guest for you guys today. Eritrea, Selam. Adeye, Adeye. Hey, man. Salem be looking at me like, what is he doing? Okay, Salem, I'm bringing you on. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. Can Isaias hear me? That's the question.
Oh, yeah. Loud and clear. Adeye, Adeye. Hi, Fortuna. Meb, Salam. The great Yamane Badia. You know, by chance, when we can see PBS is scheduled in Canada. Oh, Canada doesn't have it? Golan Peace, you can get it off my page, screen record it. Make me thirsty. Adeye. I know everybody in Europe is asleep. Wake them up. Let's go.
Hey, wake up. We were supposed to do this 2 hours ago. My bad.
No.
3 hours.
The youth have spoken.
Yes.
We are here.
Yes.
They're like, Dowie, when are you gonna stop calling yourself the youth? That's none of your business.
That's none of your business.
Look, I'm youth. I was stay youth.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Zola PCI, you can find it on my page and then screen record it on the iPhone. You have to turn all your notifications off so there's no disturbance, and then you can share it with everyone in Canada. Samira, Salam, Kane, Sally, Bree, Shukur. Salamina Abraham said, "Oh wow, Captain Eritrea, I just sent you a video Salam made, and boom, she's here."
Oh, that's crazy. That's so crazy how the internet works.
Salamina, you'd be amazed how many people have sent me her videos. We've been writing each other back and forth, and then bam, Team
Here
Freedom
we
come
go.
together.
And here we are.
Salam, Captain Ilatimi. What's up? Salam, what's up? She's like, Salem. She's like,
Exactly, get it right.
what's up, Captain? I said, what's up? You want to do a show? She's like, well, why not? You like to do? Why not?
Just like that, huh? Literally just like
It was literally like that. Sally, thank you. I love you, Sally. Thank you very much. The energy's high, but you got to meet the sister right here. We. Why?
Ali. What do you say? Herer
You got to do it like me. Hedga?
I can't roll my R's like that.
No?
I'm gonna practice off camera so I don't look stupid.
Right now, watching this like time zone.
Literally, want to be a TikTok tomorrow.
Is that illegal? We're not allowed to laugh. We have to be serious.
All the time.
Comes in Gabarana, like the Abeti look.
Oh.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It's science is a don't quarrel.
How dare you say that about my God and King?
Hey, Jerusalem, Salam. Come on, guys, we're at 50. Let's go to 100. Sometimes we get to like 1,000. Lately, the net's been dead. I don't know why. Even the heavy hitters been only getting like 300. But it's late. I mean, I understand.
You're right. It is late. So we'll get people back on.
Kasach Rawaiti Haftina Salam. You know Kasach, right?
Me? Or do I know what?
Kasach Rawaiti in Australia.
I don't think so.
Ada Sariti should go up in
I saw her on your page. She's amazing. I need to add her. Yeah, I need to add her.
I'm trying to. She's part of Team Freedom. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to give her like a strong position in Team Freedom.
Right. Yeah.
I want white, black, Spanish, Kulu. I want it all.
I thought she was Eritrean, to be honest. When I saw her post,
He's
honorary.
Oh,
okay. Oh, okay. There you go. So I mean, yeah, because everything she was saying was just like, how do you? That's a lot of information.
Dekahani is the Tigrayan. Remind me to speak about a point she made.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to speak about a point she made. Can you remind me? Oh, yeah. Let me speak that. They said, nice to meet you, Salem.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you guys.
Zant Anna. I pay close attention to Zantana.
Can I see the comments? I can't see anything right now.
Oh, you can't? You got to go on the right side.
Oh, I see it. Oh, my God. Okay, hey.
Right. Oh, Kasecha, she hasn't met you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Salamina and Zant, remember those names. See Salamina Abraham? I'll fill you in later. I'll fill you in on Team Freedom Canada chapter.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Salam Zant. Okay, we're grown. 64, not bad. Salam Zant. As such. Our generation are waking up. Yamane Gabru. 100%. Mm-hmm. The more people like our sister and I continue to speak, the more they wake up. From Aris, from Salam Jimmy, Hassan. Adeye. All right, we're in business. Let's get a close up so people could be like, "Whoa, who are they?" Whoa.
Like real close.
Whoa. So, ladies and gentlemen, how are you guys today? Come on, home. Everybody's good. I was live yesterday. I'm live today. I got a hold of my sister Salem Haile. For those of you, Salam Zait Fotoa of Instagram, Haile. She's like a Captain Eritrea of Instagram, right?
Right, right.
Haile. And I met her because they were like, "Hey, Dawit, you need to go on Instagram. You need to go on Twitter." Now I'm getting more involved, and I'm like, "Okay, Captain Eritrea will be on Twitter and Instagram." Although I don't really know how to use it well, I got people helping me. Salem reached out to me. I was like, "Hey, who are you?" And then I look, I was like, "Oh my God, she's strong." And Tyler Tinik is way.
Mm.
Why?
Right. You need help. You need me. That's what.
Yeah, yeah. So then we had a couple meetings. We've been knowing her for a while. She's boom, Team Freedom. I want to introduce our sister Salem. I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and I'm gonna tell you guys why she plays a key role in this movement. Salem, the floor is all yours, sister.
Okay, so just in general, like since COVID started, before this, I was working at a neurology office, but a few months ago, I decided to start my own business. So I've been trying to become like a businesswoman, like an entrepreneur. I'm working on my second business at the moment, vegan skincare line. So hopefully you'll see that soon. But other than that, my main passion and like purpose is to help people back home, not only in Eritrea, but just like any human. But I just feel like Eritreans go through so much, like the threshold for how much people are supposed to suffer, we surpass that. Not me specifically, but like our parents' generation, what Eritreans just go through in general. This generation, especially in Eritrea. So I've been trying to use my platform to bring awareness to what's going on in one of the most repressed, most isolated regimes and countries in the world. And for me specifically, I grew up pro-government. So, finding out your whole life is a lie is very overwhelming. So when I found out, you're muted, but I feel like I know what you're saying. He said, can you say that again? You're muted again.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
So listen, so I want them to hear what you just said. Repeat that because I want them to be clear that people can support the regime and then fix their brain
yeah.
and realize the truth
It's a mental illness.
without other people pushing you and just realizing your own truth. Please continue.
Yeah, like for one thing that bothers me about Eritreans is like I like to think most of us are religious people. So, you're fasting, you're praying, but you're supporting a dictatorship. Like you have to know that there is some kind of like that dichotomy doesn't work. And I know for sure they like suffer on the inside because I'm for one of those people. I was one of those people for so long. I was just so mad about the position I was in because in order for me to speak my mind, I'm going to lose my whole community, which means I'm losing, as far as I know, my Eritrea. My Eritrea is just my people and the Eritreans in the community that I grew up in. So in order to like actually know what being Eritrean means, I had to completely shed everything that I was before and relearn it all. So for me, finding out my life was a lie at the age of 16 was like the most infuriating situations, but it caused a lot of cognitive dissonance and a lot of isolation. I was never isolated. I was with people all the time, but I felt alone because I couldn't say what I felt because I knew what is said about people who think the way I think in that community. It's just like, it was a lot. It was so much stress, and I feel so good just like getting out. It was a cult. It was a literal cult. Like, one thing I want to say is like no one grows up to become Higdef. You have to grow up in it for it to make sense. That's why anything that actually makes sense, you'll be able to apply at any point in your life. But if you weren't brainwashed in it, none of that stuff will resonate with you. So you have to know that, like, if someone can't just make sense of what your ideology is at an adult age, then something's wrong with your ideology. All these people, that's why they have to hang out together. That's why they only have small, tight-knit groups, because they can't hear anything from the outside world. It's just like Scientology. You're not allowed to hear anything that goes on outside of what you're told on propaganda. So I just had enough, and I was like, okay, it's either I'm going to live like with God, like where I actually do care about human beings, because I doubt God will like ask me like, did you stand with Isaias Afriki with your people? God don't care. You just have to stand for his other children. Like, that's pretty much all that matters. So it's like, I don't get what these people are doing. They honestly, I think they're like at the lowest of the evolutionary whatever the point. It's just you choose to be like this. I don't understand. Because after a certain age, like, there's just no excuse. I get it. You could be raised in it, but I don't know. Don't make sense. How could you graduate from Harvard and be like, oh, I want to thank Isaias Afwerki. Like, he shut down every school in your country, you idiot. How are you going to support him? How are you going to talk about higher learning is important, but you have no colleges in your country? Like, it just doesn't add up. So when stuff doesn't add up, you have to change things. And so that's why I'm here right now.
Wow, that's awesome. So I have a question for you then, moving forward. Have you ever been to Eritrea? And what are your experiences? If you could kind of give us a quick description of where you've been, what you've done, and what your thought process was when you were there, and how you had to prove your Eritreanism, and indirectly how people were suffering in front of you, but you're considered privileged. But then the guy that's driving you around town is thinking to himself, these people, they have no clue.
So it was really hard. My first time I was like 3 years old. So 1997, that was before the war. So things were like beautiful. We kind of wanted, I mean, not in terms of what was actually going on behind the scenes, but in terms of like how Eritrea looked, how many people lived there, things being full, them not being sanctioned. So we were able to get access to stuff. That was a beautiful experience. I don't remember much of it, but I do remember it being a lot easier for us as a family to maneuver, and it just being a beautiful time because we just got independence. It was our first time back in the country. The second time I went was 2010. I was 16. And I was so excited. This was like at the peak of my pro Higdef stuff. Like, I loved Isaias Afwerki. I was so excited, you know. And so I went with a whole bunch of my American friends, and we all got there, and I'm thinking this is amazing. Like, I was homesick because of Africa, and I'm just not used to like the life. But in terms of thinking that my country was like going through any of the stuff that it's going through, there was no way I would have ever had that idea. Until I want to say 3 weeks in, we go to Sawa. No, we went to Sawa, and then from Sawa we went on the tour. So we're on this tour, and I happened to get sick. So because my brother didn't want to quit the tour, I ended up staying the whole time, and I was talking to the bus driver a lot. And you know, he loved me. We would just have conversations. He'd always ask me questions like, "How come you guys don't speak more Tigrinya?" Like, he wanted to know why more of us didn't speak. I'm reading the comments. This is really hard. Like, to do.
No. Don't, when you go live, don't even pay attention.
Okay, sorry. Because I'm reading, I'm like, oh, he's
because
right.
People sometimes you'll get Higdafawi to try to throw you off, but majority of the people on right now are supporting you 100%, and they're proud that we have a lady representing us. So I'm really, really happy and excited right now. So,
yeah.
And for those that speak Tigrina, Tigrina Hazarab Dali Huna, Haftana Tigrina Zarab Thalat Bugera, but Ami Namazginaina, and thank you. Go ahead, sister.
So basically, my second time Eritrea, we're on the tour, this guy, and I'm sick on the bus, and I keep talking to the bus driver. So this was my best friend on the tour at this point, even though a lot of my close friends from America on the tour, but I'm more worried about him. I'm like, why isn't he sleeping inside? Like, why are we all able to sleep in hotels, but he's sleeping in the bus? Or like, why isn't he eating with us? You know, like, why does he have to sit on the, I just didn't understand. And so until
This is the driver? This is the bus driver?
Yeah, bus driver.
Autobus Zawadi? Slap some Tigrina in there if you can too.
Right. Sorry. Autobus Zawadi. So while he's driving us, I'm thinking like, why isn't he, you know, getting the same benefits as us? Especially because I realized like, at that time, $1 American was through black market. It was like $60 or something, right? So we paid $300 American, which is a lot of natfa per person to go on this tour. So there's no reason why our bus drivers aren't getting a bed to sleep on. Like, what is going on here? I just didn't understand. And they're driving from 6 a.m. till like 8 p.m. You know, there's no stops. They're just telling us, oh, this is what's over here. This is what's over here. They're on the bus. They're telling us, but there's no stop. So this man is just exhausted as along with his other drivers. So one day I finally asked him, because my cousin left his bag. I was telling you yesterday, my cousin left his bag. And so I was like, I asked him to go back to our last stop, which was like no more than like 15 kilometers away from where we were. So I didn't think it was going to be a big ask, especially because he and I had like somewhat of a friendship, you know? And he goes, because
Wow.
I was like, can molesta how midhani to Garifo, like outside. I'm sorry, but can we go back? And he's like, like, we have everything for you. Like, you could tell he was just angry. Like, the resentment came out, and my dumb ass, sorry, curse. I'm over here like, why not? Like, why can't you go back with all this? And then I remember two people looking at me on the bus because I think they knew. And that's what pissed me off. Like, y'all know these people aren't getting paid. I had no idea they weren't getting paid more than their usual whatever they get for national service. But this man is doing a lot of extra work. Like, this should be an extra paycheck. You know, in my head, because I'm living in a country where you get paid for what you do for the most part. So it's like, what are you, I just didn't understand. But and we can get in trouble for giving them money, but we risked it. So my brother, my cousin, and I got money together and gave it to him because I just felt so guilty. Like, I was
wait. So ilki in the hersaldi hipkiyom?
Yeah.
يحرقيهم اتي منغستي يحرق ان يحصل هيبكيهم if you give
Yeah,
the
exactly.
the
Like,
low food money the government gets mad.
Yes. And that hipkam and then Feliton, like Nislahan, I think they said you can go to jail. Like, it's serious.
Wow.
So Himnayo, again, after that is when things got weird. I just started seeing things a little differently because I was thrown off. But there was no way that the amount of propaganda that I was raised with, I was never going to make sense of it unless someone literally told me, hey, this is wrong. I'm not going to say that I was able to see through everything right after that. I still was like, oh, I'm sure. I thought Isaias was a good guy. I thought maybe something's going on the totem pole. Like, maybe the people under him are doing some stuff, you know? No, it was infuriating to find out it was literally just one man doing everything. But my last day in Eritrea, my cousin pulls me aside. She is a genius. She graduated like top of her class in Sawa, and in college. My other cousin went to my nephew. She graduated in psychology. Like, they're just really smart. And my cousin finally sits there and she's telling me, like, because the whole summer I was bragging to her about how I went to go protest protest the sanctions that were put on Eritrea. So I'm thinking I did my part as an Eritrean, like, I'm standing for Isaias Afwerki, like, he shouldn't have been sanctioned. So I'm telling her this, and the whole summer you could tell she's irritated with me, like, but she didn't say anything until finally she was like, okay, Samiska, if you stand with your people, then that means you have to stand against your government. And if you're standing with the government, that means you're standing against your people. That's how Eritrea works. I was like, what do you mean? So the money that we pay at Guaylas, that doesn't come to you? No, Salem. There's no welfare systems in this country. No money gets funneled into this to the citizens whatsoever. Everything's for show. Like, if they have a building and it says, like, oh, for women veterans, it's just there for show. No one is actually getting benefits out of these places. Everything is for show. Just like the university, they still, from what I hear, they still benefit from having that university be there, but they don't actually allow anyone to go to school. There's just so many loopholes that this government has gotten away with. And so when she told me that, I came back to America so mad. I was like so confused. Like, why didn't you tell me at the beginning? At that time, I didn't know you can go to jail for telling someone that. She literally was like, Selam, you don't get it. If I told you this and you told one of your friends and they tell somebody, I'm in jail. And I was just like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I there's just no way to explain. Because I think the issue with Higdef is, like, they see it like, who's keeping your mouth closed? Like, if my cousin wanted to say something, she would. Like, she trusts me, and you don't get it. Like, they're not allowed to trust you. It's a life or death situation. It has nothing to do with family. It has nothing to do with you being a good person. Like, it has nothing to do with you not having bad intentions. They are literally programmed to fear for their life. It's just how it goes. So the fact that my cousin even got this out is amazing. Like, I don't think I would have been strong enough to tell someone as much as she told me. But after that was my mission, to go back and to find out everything on my own, because I already know, like, when you want to speak on things and you grow up pro-government, and now I'm on the other side, they're going to be like, what proof do you have? And I just wanted to be able to say, like, I saw this, I saw that, this happened. Like, because before that, I'm not gonna lie, like, I was like, I'm sure it's bad. Yeah, I know it's bad, but like, you know, are you sure you're not being a little dramatic? Like there was still a little bit about it that was like so hard for me to believe, because a lot of my childhood was propaganda, and that's my Eritrea in my head. Um, Third time I went, all hell broke loose. I met I met so many people. I met two very powerful men, and they both told me a lot. And what made me sad was like one of them, he didn't tell me as much as the other, but I found out more about him because this man was trying to tell me about his religion, but he wasn't allowed to tell me. Come find out, he spent that. So he's rich, he has all the money he needs, but he's still oppressed. Everyone's oppressed one way or another in Eritrea. It doesn't matter if you have money. It doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna go to jail for something, for breathing. Like one way or another, you're gonna eventually go. And other guy, he told me a lot, but the point was that was enough for me to know, like, okay, this isn't nonsense. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this country. And then I saw I went to Massawa with one of the people, and I saw a Somali refugee camp, and I was confused because, for one, like in the lowlands during the summertime, everyone, or like our May to July or August, everyone who lives there flees to the highlands because it's so hot. So I didn't understand how you could have refugees living in a place that's so unbearable, let alone in a country where everyone's trying to be a refugee somewhere else. Like, there was just so much weird stuff going on. Like, why do we have refugees when we can't even feed the people we have? And why would anyone want to be a refugee here? And, you know, like, so many questions that nobody can answer. But the point was, I went to Sawa, and I'm being so honest. Like, I see Isaias like how like people see, you know, Freddy versus Jason. Like, there's no difference. Like, he's terrifying to me. Like, that man is a serial killer, psychopath, sociopath, right? So when I saw all these people running and Zawa to like go see him during the opening ceremony, I hid in my room. I almost got beat up for like not leaving my room, because I was just like, I'm not gonna go to that. Like, this is so backwards that people are chasing a dictator to kiss his feet, to kiss his hands, and like celebrate. It's just, it was the craziest experience of my life, because when you see who he is, like, how did y'all get, how are you still, that was me before? Like, it was just like I've gone through a lot of cognitive dissonance, but the point is, I'm here. And the main reason I'm here actually was because when I used to post about like Black Lives Matter, anything else, I used to talk about like DACA, because there were a lot of immigrants who were being forced to go back to their homes. Like, there was anything, I was talking about anything, veganism, animal rights, anything. I'll talk about anything. But I knew I couldn't talk about Eritrea. And I would get messages, you know, from people who were like, oh, how could you not speak on your brothers and sisters in Libya? How could you not speak about your brothers and sisters in Sinai? And I would ignore it. Like, I wouldn't respond, but it would break me. Like, it would really break me, because I'm lying to myself now. Like, you know, I'm just like lying to myself. I know that this is something that needs to be brought out here. People need to see it. And I know that's why people hate us, because if it wasn't for us, like, no one's going to cover Eritrea. Like, people kind of know it's just kind of the way it is. Not know, but like, they kind of have accepted it as normal. And I'm glad we haven't like bought into that, because it's the most abnormal, unnecessary suffering I've ever seen in my life, like what's going on in Eritrea. So I just want to thank all those people who used to like troll me and be like, why don't you talk about them back home? Because you're right, like, that was what killed me, ate me up inside. It's like, if I'm gonna have a following, because I don't care for a following. I get it very naturally. All I do is just post myself. If I'm going to get a following, it's going to be to help my people, you know? So yeah, sorry, that was very long-winded, but
No, that's excellent. That's an excellent explanation. We love that. We love the truth. Team Freedom loves the truth. Now, so you said you've seen me before we connected. You said you've seen me speak, and and I didn't know. I just, when I got on Instagram, they're like, "Hey, Salem shared your video," and I'm like, "Who's that?" Right? And then I go in there. I'm like, "Man, this girl's got a huge following." What made you want to support my ideology? Is it similar to yours?
So okay, so that's one thing. I saw someone say something about like how I stopped speaking about 6 months ago, like during the Tigray conflict, and I was going through a lot, like mentally. I am honestly drained. Like I get, because I don't just post. I watch this stuff all day. I'm reading this stuff all day. I'm trying to find new information, and not only that, the most heartbreaking is actually talking to people who've been through it. So like this stuff really affects my mental health. And so I was like, I need to stop. Like I can't, I'm not gonna be able to save these people. I can't. And then I saw your video and you literally were saying everything that I wanted to say, like everything that I've just been wanting to like be able, and I was like, this is perfect. I can just screenshot this. I can still help him get his stuff out. Because this is exactly what I would have said if I was on live. And I could just take my break. Like I needed a mental break. And so when I realized that me taking a mental break just meant you picking up where I just you going, like it was, I have yet to disagree with, I mean, I don't want to say that. I haven't watched everything you said. I can't really say that I completely agree with you. But in terms of the outcome that we want for Eritrea, in terms of like what we want for humanity and everything like that, I think we're on the same page. So I had no problem, like just I basically thank you. Like I was like, I really I love
thank you.
and yeah, so that was
Same way you serve the people, I serve the people.
right.
But the thing is, I think Higdef is a little terrified of you and I because you got Instagram shut down. Like I've seen
Right.
how you post, you got it shut down. There's
And
nobody.
that's their fault. That's their fault. Because let me tell you something. This one girl, I posted one thing, and this one girl that I've always respected her. She's pro-government, and she was like, you clearly don't know what's going on in Eritrea. I want to ask why you're disgracing your country. That was my biggest fear. We're taught Eritrea right or wrong. Do not disgrace your country. Even if we have problems in-house, we keep it in-house. And that was like how I was raised. Like, we don't talk about this stuff. Just keep it all in. Then I realized this is what caused this whole problem is the lack of consistent conversation. Like, we just let all hell break loose. Now Eritrea's, I've never been more depressed anywhere than I was in Eritrea. When you finally see like the whole I guess what kills me the most is like these kids are so brainwashed that they be walking by homeless people like they're not there. Like they go to the club, come out, and there's homeless people sleeping on the floor, and they like just walking by like it's just nothing. And when I saw the fact that like I clearly have these goggles that other people don't have here, because like you're not, anybody who cares about Eritrea, anybody who knows this stuff, you're not allowed in Eritrea. So I had to act like I don't care, like I'm with Higdef to get in. And it's just like, I don't know. Sorry, I was trying to make my point, but what
Yeah, because you're saying they're so in tune with Isaias and what they want Eritrea to be that they forget all around them is death, starvation, hunger, homelessness. But you're in that mindset of I'm here on a vacation mode, kind of like if you were at Jamaica or something. You forget about the surrounding population. You're just there to focus on what you're there to do.
and when I was there, I was like, just imagine like your friend being like, oh, I'm gonna go to Syria for a vacation. Like that's what we sound like, like, or Iraq during when they had war. Like Eritrea is not in a civil war, but we have a mass exodus because there is a spiritual, mental, emotional war. And because Eritreans don't understand anything but physical war, like in terms of like understanding how deep psychological issues can go, we're losing so many beautiful, brilliant minds. Like he killed all of the future leaders,
Yep.
But yeah, I think like, sorry, the point I was trying to make, Higdef should be mad because this girl who basically told me that I was disgracing my people, I remember retracting my statement and being like, I'm so sorry, like you're right, I didn't mean to do that. I would love to get more insight as to what you have to say so I can maybe find other ways to help my people, right? Because I just felt like, oh my God, I'm really losing everything I know right now to do this. And then I decided like the next day, like, you know what, never mind. Or actually it took like a couple months. Sorry, it wasn't the next day. It was a couple months. I had to like work my way back up. I had to find out this beautiful kid that I met, in Eritrea who used to sell us like gum and stuff, he was killed. And so when I found that, I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm dying inside. Like, I need to speak. I need to speak. So I started posting. My first video was a post of, like, I don't know if you've seen the Prince of Egypt, but it was Moses walking through Egypt with his brother, and his brother's like, look how beautiful it all is, and da da da. And Moses is looking around like, what do you mean? He's seeing old people get whipped in the back. He's seeing old people carry like the pyramid bricks and all this stuff, and he's seeing it for what it is, while his brother's royalty. And it's just like, what do you mean? This is amazing. And I really feel like YPFDJ kids are the brother Ramsey, and I was Moses in that situation. Not saying I'm Moses, I promise I'm not saying that, but like, just in general, like, that was my first post because it really resonated with me. And I remember walking through Eritrea feeling that way. And I was like, I'm going to find that clip and use it. And because that girl made me feel like I was less Eritrean than her, I went hard. And this girl was like, oh, I'm going to post the thing as a thank you. I'm not going to put her name or anything, but I'm going to put a thank you on my Instagram this week, because if it wasn't for her telling me, she's like, no one cares about your Insta rants anyway. No one cares about you. No one's going to ever listen to you, blah, blah, blah. And now here we are. Here we are. And you think I'm halfway done? I'm not even 5% done. Like, if I really wanted to put my energy into this, the world will hear me. And she needs to understand that. But like, Higdef should be scared, because the next day they had a meeting about me. They had a whole meeting.
I know that very well.
That is so weird. Like, y'all have nothing better to do,
right?
than to worry about someone who won't make a change. Like, I think they just want to beat everyone down so much that they don't feel they have any worth outside of a group. And that's, I think, very scary for Eritreans. I feel so bad for Eritreans who feel that way, because I was like that. It's like, you feel like you have no worth if you lose your friends, when you're priceless regardless, you know? And so I just feel bad. They have really low self-esteem. Like, they can only be confident when they're talking to people who have the exact same mentality as them and who are basically yes men, you know? Like, you can't hear anything outside of what you've been told. And then it just, watching the Seattle protest this morning was really funny, because it's like, imagine living life where you think the whole world's just out to get you. Like, everyone just wants to ruin Eritrea's reputation. Why? No, they don't. This is just what it is. Like, that paranoid mentality, like, everyone's out to get us, this and TPLF, and then it's white supremacists, and then it's just like, I would hate to live a life like that. Because for me, it's like, when there's a problem, you handle it. Come on, get a solution. And they're just going to sit there forever and just dance in a circle while we figure shit out.
So yeah, and we have kids on the show. Sorry. No worries. So I kind of compare Higdef with the extremists, like the KKK, Komtat, because they work from within to destroy the people. And one thing that I want to tell the people that are watching is, we're doing good. There's a lot of people watching this right now. If you guys could do us a favor, at the Halal Fool, share it. Let's get more viewers on here. We got a special guest. And I also want to tell you guys, Salem joined Team Freedom. She's going to be our spokeswoman for Team Freedom. So yes, that's Mishina Girokum. One thing we are missing is we're not empowering our Eritrean women. And you know, our ladies, even Tigrayan ladies, they're out there. They're screaming, "Hey, listen to us!" Right? When we have our Eritrean women, we don't allow them to get out. You had to create your own platform and create your own followers. Had I known, I would have brought you on my show just to give you a platform, right? Because I'm a full supporter of Eritrean women and how powerful they are. And I only say that not because you're here. You can ask my sister, you know what I mean? My sister is my role model. My mom is my hero. So for me, and my dad is something else. But for me, I feel like Eritrean women can make a huge, I think that is the key to change in Eritrea. I think if we put them in key leadership positions in their halafanat, the dynasty, I think change comes out. There's a lot that are old school. Some of them, you know, all that old school stuff is gone. It's done. I know what tahadere bali. Na special absate khulu gere. Still, yeah, I'm in honesty. So what I've decided with Daman, who's our co-chairman for Team Freedom, and we're gonna give you guys the breakdown. What's Team Freedom? Chairman, co-chairman, spokeslady, Wonder Woman over here. She's gonna be holding shows on a Team Freedom show. She's going to be speaking politics just like Captain Eddie. And you're going to be representing the ladies. I don't want to just say opposition because there are many Higdafawi that we need to fix. Same way you fixed yourself, we need to fix them. Because if we just turn our back on our brothers and sisters that are Higdafawi, there will be no change. It'll be us against them.
Right.
I don't want us against them. I want us to be we. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if we could be we, then we can slowly fix it. Hamam ab Eritrea zalo. But I also wanted to add, as a spokeswoman for Team Freedom, she's also probably most likely going to be an executive branch of Team Freedom. It's the only way it's going to work. You know what I mean? So I can't say we're going to empower you and then not empower you. No, you're not a figurehead. You're not just there to just talk. No, you're going to be making decisions on behalf of Team Freedom. So just so you guys know, Haftana Marahit, I think that's how you said, of Team Freedom could call Sana. She's going to be reaching out. We have a lot in common. We care for our people. We're against Higdef, obviously, and we support. There's a lot of people at Maho Zalo that haven't chosen which side they want to be. We're after those people. Right. The youth, we got the youth locked down. We got the youth on Clubhouse. We got the youth on Instagram. We got the youth on Twitter. We got the youth on Facebook. We got the youth locked down. We have an army of every country, state, city of youngins because English and Tigrina Zarim. But with that being said, I do want to ask you one more question. I know we're like bombarding you, and I want to let the people بسنا سرعات نحاتيتكم بسنا سرعاتكم قبولنا نحب ريسنا سرعات حاتيتو خانه. We're not here to argue and go back and forth. We need some respect because this is a respectful show. So if you write your question, I will ask her. But you did see the documentary of Escape in Eritrea, right? You saw the video of whether they were sunkulat or in wheelchairs or whatever. They were getting handcuffed. They were getting beat. It's 1,000 people in a small room. حمام سابي موت بدحريت مسراق معمات نتانا نستي telephone دخل كدول دخل نحو sexual favor هيبكني خمو everything it كاك أنا مزبلنا يومش جن. This video, this documentary is very damning to Higdef, and that's why Etiam Higdefawi Hasot is a low Seattle. They want to take it down. They're trying hard. When you saw the video, what was the first thing that came to your mind with our sister at that video, Tizarabet? What was her name? I forgot her name.
Helen?
Helen, I think her name was. When she was speaking, and she got emotional. It's a situation.
Well, I don't know if you saw her last documentary with her sister, but like every time I see her, I just cry because I already know her story. And it's like, I think because we hear so many people go through like this kind of thing in Eritrea, we like become numb to it. But no, like I when I hear stories, I imagine myself in that position, and it's like if you were to tell me that my dad was gonna just like step outside for a second and never came back, and then my mom tried to come and help us, and then she just disappeared too, and I never hear from them again. That in itself is already heartbreaking, but I think like just being and another thing is it's like for me, I just hate that we see ourselves as we don't realize just how easily it could have been us in that position. Like it could have really been us, you know? And when I saw her say that she was like, well, you know, we exchanged the whatever, were they generals or whatever, the people above them would offer them random stuff to exchange sexual favors for, like, you know, a call to your family or for some water or for, like, you know, for just little things. And that's the same thing I've heard from women who've told me their testimonies from Sawa. It's not much different. So just hearing that, and then her going from, you know, some women, she's like, well, actually all women like decided to, and it's like, I don't think we understand the level of helplessness and hopelessness that these people experience. Like, I hate that we even have anyone judging, or like, for example, I was talking to someone who was pro-government, which was dumb. Why do you do that, right? But like, I was trying to tell them like, oh, you know, a lot of a lot of young women are marrying older men to get out of national service or to get out of serving. And this person was like, well, that's their problem. They shouldn't be trying to skip out on national service. And this is the person who's never had to make that decision. This is the person who didn't live in Eritrea after independence. So it's like, how dare you? First of all, you have the free will to do whatever you want in this country, and for you to say that this person should just shut up and do what they have to do is rude. Second, different people can survive different things. Their thresholds are different. So there are a lot of women who know themselves, and men who I'm sure know themselves well enough to know they will not survive Sawa, because last time I went, I talked to an actual soldier. This is real number. 22% did not survive that round when I was there 2018. They either lose their mind, die, or run away. So for people to be like, well, that's her family's fault for marrying her off, they shouldn't have child marriage, Eritrea is not about that. And it's like, how dare you judge them? You weren't in their circumstances. So in this situation, when she's saying things like, after a while, it becomes something to consider. Like, this is literally survival or preserving my spirit. And I think right now survival is more important. And that's so sad they even have to make that decision. She was young. She was a young girl. Like, I don't even know how else to say. I can't even believe this is a situation. But there was that really broke my heart. And I feel bad for her because she's kind of an orphan designed by Isaias. Like, you didn't have to be an orphan. You could have very well had a happy family with both your parents and your sister and everybody. And it was just like, and then at the end, if you saw the part where she calls her grandma just to ask if she's heard anything new, and her grandma's like, like, of course we're not going to hear anything. Like, nothing's ever going to change. Like, kind of just seeming like, well, it just seemed like she's kind of like, why are you asking? Like, they're not going to get out. And I don't think we realize, like, the whole community is plagued with the same amount of hopelessness. They really don't think they even deserve better, is what it seems like. And this girl is in America, but her mind, I'm sure, goes to terrible places. Like, I don't think we understand how much, once you experience something that traumatic, it's very easy for it to keep coming back. And so I don't even see her as really privileged for being in America when she has to, like, relive the most atrocious things in her head. That was just one of the victims. Like, there was another part of the documentary that really broke my heart was the guy. He was the one who was able to record in the refugee camps, or in the camp, sorry, or the prison. And he was like, when he got out, he said he missed his friends there. He's like, we used to, once one got beat so bad, we would, like, and they're injured, we're all helping to get him better. We had, like, this crazy, beautiful, like, bond, with everyone we were imprisoned with. And he's like, I wish they could be out here with me. And it's just so sad that, like, I don't know, it was just like, you shouldn't have had to bond in that way anyway, right? It's not even like, it's so sad you were in that position. But two, being free and still worrying for people who are inside is so painful. I think we all suffer so much on the inside because we don't know what's going on, and I don't know, like today, since I woke up, I don't need to see how many people died in Eritrea to know that a lot of people died in Eritrea. I don't need to see the number. It's just knowing. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, it's like, these are hard questions because I didn't realize they're really deep. Like, I'm not trying to miss anything, but all I'm going to say is, like, I've watched these kind of videos nonstop for the past 2 years, and I'm not numb to it. I'm just, like, still in shock. Like, I'm just kind of like, how do we let this happen? It just doesn't make sense to me. But
yeah, we let it. That's the thing with Higdef. They played us. And something that I want to highlight is, so a lot of people be like, hey, Captain, you're always speaking against Higdef and Sha'biya. I'm like, listen, in the history to the Du'a Hoinkum, I understand EPLF part. They were part of freeing Eritrea. EPLF, right? I get it. Everybody knows this, but you have to understand.
Higdef is different than that.
Right. EPLF SHAB, or whatever you want to call them, EPLF back then, right? SHAB. When they turned against ELF, yeah, we all were salty about that. You know, all of us have our own little qualms and stuff. Again, the issue is this: they still fought for Eritrea with TPLF to freedom with the dirt.
Right.
I'm not speaking against the EPLF Jaganus that freed Eritrea. There are some older ones that were part of the EPLF that are turned Higdef. But at one point, it went from patriotic Eritreans who love Eritreans that are EPLF to being hijacked and to becoming an Higdef Sirat.
Right.
Now you have EPLF that are also opposition that are looking at them like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is not what we fought for. You guys are ashamed. The last stand of EPLF was the G15,
right.
You know, with Muslim Hagos in them.
Right.
So a lot of people get it confused when I say Higdef Shabia. I'm not talking about our history of Eritrea and how we got free and this and no. I'm talking about the mutation of what used to be a decent organization that went against ELF for whatever reason, nonetheless still freed Eritrea, to turning and getting hijacked into this terrorist organization that only works to destroy Eritrea. So for the Hagdefawi that watch us, I would like to say, if you're pro-Eritrean, like the ones in Seattle, there's one guy, Tekla Haminat, or whatever his name, he's always talking nonsense. I mean, he's super Higdef. I think he's amusing personally, but yeah, I laugh. I'm like, look at this clown.
They sound ridiculous, I know.
Yeah, and he's part of the whole YPF and they're poisoning the youth. You have to understand one thing that really, really gets me. And I'm all about facts, Hafte. Let's just talk about facts. Right. I'm gonna ask you a question, and I want you to say fact, not factual. Can you do that for me? Okay.
Yeah.
Is Isaias Afwerki a dictator or not?
Yes.
Fact, right?
By definition, literal fact.
Right. Fact. Okay. Has Eritrea, Ma'abilada Eritrea, has it progressed to an economical state? Has Eritrea moved up in the world status? True or false?
Sorry, repeat that?
Has Eritrea moved up economically?
No.
False.
False.
Okay. Third question. Is Sawa a regular military program or a Sawa forced military program?
Forced.
Fact. I'm just talking fact. I'm not adding my own opinion to it.
Yeah. No.
Is Eritrea considered the
North Korea
of Africa?
Yeah.
Fact, right? So far we're on fact. Is all our greats like Petro Solomon, this dude, Joshua, all these people that had great ideas for Eritrea to move it to the direction it was supposed to go, jailed or murdered? True or false?
True.
True. Now we're only speaking facts.
Right.
EPLF, G15, the last hope of Eritrea at that time frame, they all betrayed each other because Yamane Monkey and people like that.
Yeah.
They all either one ran like Muslim Hagos or the rest were jailed or killed. True or false?
True.
Okay. Sawa, the females that are in Sawa and they are soldiers, they get played. They're asked for sexual favors by the leadership. True or false?
True.
Is it a shoot to kill policy? Harimka kab Eritrea, or did they let you go?
Shoot to kill policy is implemented, yes.
Fact. Mm-hmm. Right now we're on a lot of facts.
Right.
I gave you zero opinions.
Nope.
Now let's continue. Lampedusa. All the Eritreans that are escaping. Why does my hat look so weird? All the Eritreans that are escaping Eritrea, they all take chances. They go through the ocean. They jam-pack boats that can't even hold 20 people, and they die in the ocean. True or false?
True.
These people that are escaping Eritrea, one best thing I'm good at is articulation. I'm really good at articulation. Yeah, I'm a beast at articulation. The people that are escaping Eritrea, right?
Yeah.
Some are Higdef. Some are this, different Aurajas, different mothers, pregnant ladies. If Eritrea is so good, according to Higdef, why are they all escaping? Selam Takab Eritrea Hadmalo. Why? Because obviously Eritrea is not somewhere they could raise their family. True or false?
It's true, but do you know what they think? You know what the Higdef says?
Tell me.
They say Tagaru steal Eritrean identities and flee using Eritrean identities. So everyone who is Eritrean that claims they're Eritrean are lying. And my favorite thing to ask those same people, the reason I brought this up, because I don't like to bring up their arguments, they're stupid, but the reason I brought this up is because if that's the case, then, sorry, I'm trying to say this right. If that is the case,
you're saying, why would Tagarus that are trying to leave Ethiopia utilize Eritrean citizenship to escape? The reason why they're using, if this is true, right? The reason why they're using Slamtaina Eritrean citizenship to escape, because the world identifies it's a alam يفلت you Eritrea راح شجر زلوا تجري شجر يبلان كاب Ethiopian حوت إدلهم Eritreawi because it's so many تأثيرهم يزرد. That's what you're trying to say.
Thank you. I know I lost my train of thought.
That's a hard one to explain.
Good job. Exactly. There's a reason people would use Eritrea because tagafi'na to this extreme where the world knows it and will only accept you if you're Eritrean. So their arguments.
The world feels sorry for us, right? The world feels sorry. So let me ask you another question. Why do Eritreans? No, it's not even why. Fact: Eritreans go to Libya are either enslaved, kidney harvested, sold, robbed, killed, raped, because they are willing to take that risk. True or false?
True.
I've not given one opinion yet. I'm only giving you Air Force One pilots of Isaias of Warki took off to Ethiopia, landed, and asked for political asylum. True or false?
True.
Fact. Now here's something else for you. When Hizbi Eritrea die in the ocean and they don't make it, and the bodies are recovered, or like
when Higdef is like dancing and singing, you mean then?
Yes. Higdef ka wa party governor Romish, his banana mote. Isaias Forky said, I kubolomnium, not sana honenu. True or false?
He basically said they're trash. He said they were like the leftovers and they needed to leave. True. Very true.
Right. If you leave Eritrea, kab Eritrean harimka, berei faqad, kutumalasa itkhaniha. True or false?
True.
Okay. Every Higdefawi that speaks about how great Eritrea is lives where?
Outside of Eritrea.
Boom, 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 boom,
they
boom,
look
boom.
so dumb. Like I just
sister, you have to explain that to me. This is what I say. Abdi I go Sima. You support Isaias? Isaias, His Excellency, and this how adgi they sound. It's really, really hifrat. Like, and I'm not saying that because Arif, but it's really hifraka. This you're like, what kind of intelligence does this person have? There's no way. Maybe this person is just you know. So he's like this. His Excellency, Isaias Afwerki, is a lion of Eritrea, and I support him 100%. And I say, and you're saying that all the way from Canada?
Right.
USA?
Australia?
Germany?
DC?
Ice cream parlor in Los Angeles?
Right.
No, I ain't taking no shots, right? No shots intended.
Shoot all you want. These people are idiots.
Because there's one individual, an ice cream parlor all the way in Los Angeles? Oh, wait. Or are you in Norway?
Right.
Looking like a what is that clown movie? I forget. It. Talking about how great Isaias Fork is. Meneshima Rahel Sabatu Tabal. Number one.
I hate her so much.
That one, Mish. She ta'asira for selling hashish ko gala ta'asira me. Deport geroma. Na adimali soma. Saha bakhya tamalisa to Europe.
Right.
But he's on Clubhouse trying to recruit.
Thank you.
Where do these people come from?
Where do you get these kind of people? Like, I didn't even know people like this exist on the same planet as me. Like, what? At least live there. At least live there.
Experience
something. Well, not even just that. No, I mean, like, live there right now while you're telling us to go live there, or while you're telling us how great it is. Like, you just don't understand how literally obsolete all your arguments are. And they think they're so smart because, like I said, they have these echo chambers, and it's exhausting. It's like, okay, you guys already lost causes, that's fine, but can you stop with the kids? Like, these kids actually want to help their people. They just want to know the truth. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that how this lady's just going to sit there and be like, oh, yeah, well, as a Pan-Africanist.
Yeah.
I can't stand her.
Who made you a Pan-Africanist?
I don't think
Many Farimala. Oh, you're a Pan-Africanist? Tell us why you're a Pan-Africanist.
And have you seen?
But you support genocide.
Did you see her live with Mnet?
Oh, Mnet. Oh, listen. You talking about
what?
Mnet Zerato? Zereto?
That was my favorite thing ever. Yes.
Mnet literally grabbed her in front of everybody. It was embarrassing. And you know what she did? Mnet. Ever since then, I've been an Mnet fan 100%.
Oh my! I met her a little before that, so when I saw it, I was so excited, you know. And then they got on, and the whole thing, she just looked so dumb. Like, Mnet kept saying, like, well, how could you say that? Like, how could you say that everybody around you had the same rights that you did? She's like, what didn't they have that I didn't have? What didn't they have that I had? There's nothing. Like, how dare you make these people like?
Did you see the video? Did you see the video when they brought her on American or some English show? And
oh my God!
The guy who barely even spoke English destroyed her. He said, "I'm Eritrean. I was in Sawa. What is this lady? Reeboks or what did he say? Jordans." He was like, this lady has no clue what she's talking about.
Because there was even another, she was an African woman, I don't know from what country, but she was like, sweetheart, like, this is crazy of you to say that. People aren't buying for shoes. Like, you know, she literally had to say, like, sweetie, you need to relax. Like, you sound so ridiculous. Like, literally on Al Jazeera looking stupid. Like, you don't have a family to check you or tell you, like, you know, at least, you know, because there's propaganda, but what she does is just delusion. Like, you're literally like,
she'll use her PhD. This is the thing. This is how she gets to youth. She'll get in Clubhouse.
I don't care about Higdef who have PhDs or any of that.
I don't even think she has. And even if she does, you can't use your achievement as a way to lead the sheep to fire. That is nobody. I can't say I'm educated. You need to die because of what I tell you. That's not how life works. But the thing with Eritreanism is people equate Eritreanism to patriotism. In order to be patriotic and people to believe you're Eritrean, you have to bow down to Isaias Afwerki. My mindset, opposite. To be Eritrean, you have to oppose Isaias Afwerki. Then I believe you're Eritrean. If you support Isaias Afwerki, then I don't believe you're Eritrean. I think you're mixed, or you're like the Dergi kids that I say are Dergi kids, like this Tekla Hamanut guy. 100% Dergi kid. You know what? If you ever notice, كلهم نساي supporters go what do you see? Mom is Kap Ethiopia Amhara. Dad Firki Hamzi. Or in their 100% Eritrean Koinam, Gala Makhsab Misra Alom, or their family life is in shambles. They're getting a divorce, they're drunk, their kids are on drugs. There's always some background story, and you're like, now I under every hegdafa is khatmut photo trina zalahum asna'um, and tell me if their family is not in total
a mess,
chaos.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your thoughts on that?
100%. Like I said, your life can't make sense when you are supporting a dictator and evil, you know, unless you actually believe in that stuff. If you're trying to say you're a quote unquote good person, or somebody who believes in God, or somebody who cares about humanity, and you are still supporting that man, you have to be a hot mess. Like, if you see all the people who are Higdef on mass media, like, they literally sit there on lives for 2 hours and embarrass themselves talking about people, like, you know, I want to name a few, but it's not really that serious. It's just like, how are you adults thinking like that? It's just
Yeah.
it's yeah, basically the point is there's something off with most of them, because if you can make sense of something that doesn't make sense, then there's something wrong.
Yeah, but it's a matter of brainwash. Like this guy here I'm watching names. Look at his name. T.R.A.P, right? And I don't mean to call him out or whatever. T.R.A.P. It's not
Mm.
even an Eritrean name. And if it is, I don't know where it's from. Again, he says, hey, shut up, don't talk about Higdef. But why? Higdef is selling kidneys of Eritrean. Higdef is killing young children. Higdef is in Tigray killing Tigrayans. Why shouldn't we talk about Higdef? Why shouldn't we highlight Hamamna Eritrea? Why should we remain silent? But you see, Hafte Salem, the world has noticed. Once we came on the scene, I used to always say, "Not the opposition. Wala kabule,
Right.
wala kabule." You will miss. Kasi and did kabule me. And guess what happened?
That's what happened.
Now everybody speaks.
Right.
Now I said I'm gonna make it cool to be opposition. Now everybody speaks.
Right.
Everybody has a show. Everybody does something. We're collaborating. Higdef is down. Higdef knows its time is up. So what are they doing? If you notice, if you go to Guaylas, if you go to opposite or Higdef little Salamo selfies, now it's so bad they have Amharas holding Eritrean flags.
What? They don't have people who show up to those events. Like, there's no
Literally,
one who goes to
literally,
that. It was already before this. Yeah.
I've seen Amhara dudes hold Eritrean flags just so it could seem like there's more Eritrean. I laugh.
We're in the Twilight Zone. We're in the Twilight Zone because I had zero problems with Amhara until I started hanging out with YPFDJ kids. I wasn't raised like that. Like my family, like we grew up around hell Ethiopians, so it wasn't like that. But until I started being around YPFDJ, they're like, they told us never to come back to their land. They stamped our passports never to return. They hate us. They're this, they're that. Like, I never had an issue with them until I started hanging out with YPFDJ kids. And now all of a sudden these same kids are over here with the Lion of Judah flag and like protesting, and like how does that, how are you okay with yourself? Like, I just couldn't imagine like standing on the wrong side of history so consistently. Like, you guys have clearly have the time and the energy to do things such as like this random protest they had yesterday at PBS. You have the energy and you have the time, yet you won't help one refugee. You won't ask about the refugees. You won't nothing. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me how they operate, because they just waste their energy on the dumbest stuff. Like, I don't know.
There's a Mulu Zera guy. He wants to ask a question, but I'm live on my page. I don't know if he can call since we're on the computer. So somebody call me. I want to see if that disrupts this.
Okay.
Anyway, Mulu, call me on here. I'm going to answer it. Hopefully, if it disrupts this, then we can't do it. Go ahead, call. Let's see. You can ask what you want. Dawul. Mulu. You can ask your question. Oh, Salamina called. Salamina. Can you guys hear?
I can hear it.
It's not also, yeah. Salamina, while you're at it, I want to say thank you for supporting me and Salem. What's your question?
No, I was just helping you check test it if it works or not.
Oh, no, I know, but just ask something anyways.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about it. Can I call back and ask?
Yeah, no problem. Mulu, go ahead and call. No problem. Thank you for testing, Salamina. We're on the show still, so it's good. Go ahead, Mulu, call. Thank you, Salamina. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, bye. I put her on the spot. I'm like, I love you, Salamina. Salamina's a beast. I love that lady. Go ahead, Mulu. I'm sorry. I think it was a 5-0 something. Go ahead. Everybody wants to ask Salam some question.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah, justice to Bahal Hawe. You have to understand something. I understand you're hurt, but I'm with you, man. I'm not against you. So yes, Tigray will never forget the Esai Sarat. Let me see. Yeah. Hello, Mankibel.
Hello, David. Come on.
Salam, is this Mulu?
Yes.
Salam Kur.
كمي
تحانا لنا تبقى سمعكم لنا. Welcome.
أنا أنتقل لك هذا اللغة مسلكة. زي just بلون الخيرنا نحن ولا حواتنا قلنا ملا اللون يوم مصام. I want country. I don't know if there is any possibility. نظام سبازي أتومسي ولا أتي حاجر زلوا asylum درخبلو ورقتي. اسمنجس ريفايس كقبر خمان كقبر نخون يخاط حاسب داويت.
زي مولي فتاكاي واني كمان لها boy. Away, no, that's an excellent question.
I'm so confused. Some sabagi atomsi. Some of them are you know. Nana mangsi etam geru political comes geruna, geruna asiruna, harimuna ilom عقبة حاتيتهم عم تعدي. They are حجيخ أذكرينهم كأ. بقى قدامات ناي مangsi تحلقتي نا مangsi تخلاقتي كوينهم بسبب سايد دورو دعلو. نعنا ونزي ارتاويان زبلنا مالتي. I don't know if you can do that.
No, you can. بحقي. Okay, so زاخم من السلك كبورا بونا. So the way you can do it is أبسلامو سلف تخورو opposition تكأرحوهم منيهم دحريو after flag هيزمالو مس إثيوبيا نت genocide support governor بشومهم بسؤلهم تحزم دحريو ألو ICE ألو زي INS ألو خلو زي organization ألو فريم كاتس حيفكا أنا هما كحجزوكم يعني بخمو task force كجمهورية مسحفتنا سالم انتي نقبر نقرب لهم case each person case نسحف and what we say is listen this person escaped Eritrea كاب Eritrea هاريمومس نيو دوغو فولو نتسرعات إسايز كابت سبز هارم حجي ما أبلز باهاش
وانا تاتي دخل مدقرات خايدة بونسي وانا تات كان بقى من أنا هدف يندول خاطر
إتيام كادري إتيام كادري مالت كاري إتيام كادري مالت كاري
هو أبزلو وزحات الله سباتنا قال يوم هايمانوت أبعدنا أسيرنا من جس يبلو قال أتوم من جس بوليتيكا أسيرنا يبلو أبزل خوينهم ورقة مسرحه paper school مستودع بقى supporters.
Yeah, so the week comes in on the أبزي Zoom meeting كنقبرينا task force team freedom كنواتسينا مش task force team freedom تبع انتاج بها lawyer تبع هم تاتلنا so انتا كنقبرينا we're gonna pick a few people شو ما متحفنا سألوا مواتسينا كنا خاتتلومينا كنا تحزومينا زيوم كادريوم حسيوم فريموم ناب أبزي عدي أتيمالو كنا واتسومينا همز جنا بحقنا تحزوم طوالي deport يقولون حسيها كت فرمو يتخنيها the only reason why comfortable the only reason why they talk comfortably is because there's no real Eritreans actually holding them accountable. Now that I'm pushing that ideology and agenda, everybody farihullo. Again, since you have my direct number, by the way, he didn't call through Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Mulu. Mulu. He's a beast. He's strong. And we will get task force started with Team Freedom. With ودامان تراخيكم Miss Haftana Salem Gerna Tahagagizna we're gonna create a task force. You brought a great idea. It's time for action. Thank you, Abona.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you.
Hutata laka for Salem.
No, thank you, Wallah. Thank you, Wallah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Abona. Ciao.
Thank you.
Anybody else have question up to Captain Eritrea? Not Team Freedom News, Captain Eritrea. Triyozalohum. Abu Facebook Dolu, and you can ask your question. Frida Salase, you can see your way out the door, brother. We don't need that. Muna Mohammed, all you have to do is go to Captain Eritrea. Let me show you my page. Captain Eritrea. Call that number through Messenger, and you can ask your question. Haftina, she's Benesawa. Jigna Kabirta Haftina. Salem, she's the new spokesperson for Team Freedom. Tamarisa, unanimously. We didn't even have to hold a vote or count. She's you're 100% Eritreawi, Mish, whatever that means, right?
Yes.
Whatever that means. You're 100% Eritreawi, because now people are like, oh, I'm Eritrean, you know that.
Right.
But
yes.
I'm not mentioning historical background. I'm just saying,
right.
You're Eritrean, both parents are Eritrean, whatever. Just so people know, so call if you guys want to. If you have any questions, call. our beautiful sister is here. She's ready to answer your question. Accept my friend request, my brother. Muna, I'm full, but I will try. I will find some head def. I will remove them, and I will accept your friend request. If you guys are not going to ask our sister, let me see messages. Salamina, that's you. Okay. Oh, maybe Rowati Kasech.
Oh yeah. Oh, you were gonna say something about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call Rowati. I love Rowati. She's strong.
Perfect.
What I want to do is, she wanted to make a point because she catches a lot of heat, Mish, from a lot of Eritreans and Tagarus for what she says, because she speaks the truth, and a lot of people get mad. I don't know why I can't call her. Maybe because I'm live right now. Royti, if you can see this, go ahead and call from Australia. If you, I don't know what time it is over there. Feel free to call. But continuing on, as we're waiting, let's see if there's anything. What did Shamanja? What Mulu said is a perfect idea. Please go for it. Exactly, Abrehale. We will. Yes, great job, Dawi Salem. You two have been real since day one. So proud of you. Thank you, Jeannie. Appreciate it. Awa Tigray, Frida Selassie. Do you even space Tigrayan to call them? You're not Eritrean. Isu is the king of Eritrea. Congratulations, Frida.
The king, supreme leader. Don't worry, that's only for now. So get used to it.
Hammer all Higdef is coming. Nobody wants to call, huh? She's ready to answer all your questions. Tigrina, English, it don't matter.
All right.
Okay, Salamina, team, let's go. Okay. You're on, sister.
Okay, now I have a question.
There you go.
All right. So from what I heard, like in the past, when oppositions would protest in the West, the pro supporters would take pictures and send it to Hegdev and get their families in trouble back home. So now for Eritreans to stand up and do things to help you guys, to help us get rid of Isaias, what are we doing about that? Like, because I feel like there's a lot of fear in the community, in the Eritrean community, hence why a lot of people have been silenced, and or they have to say they support the government. And I'm talking about from personal experience too. So what are some of the things that we can do to encourage that won't happen, or maybe become that a bit?
Sorry, somebody else is calling while she's talking, but I got your question. At Faya to Zaravala, you have to wait until she's done. How wait could hold in her point? You can't double call. So that's a great question, Salamina. You wanna take that one, Salam? This guy's not gonna hang up.
Yeah. So okay. So what I heard our sister say was she wants to know how we can basically make sure that we get rid of death, right? Like different ways that we can actually make sure they go. Okay.
Why is it stopping?
I
can't mute it, but he called at the same time. Hands up, skinny. Let me get out of this. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I would say what you were saying about like basically calling the police on protesters because it doesn't add up. Like, how are you living in a country where you swore that you were running away from a dictator and then support him when you come here and perpetuate more hell for your people back home, basically? Because if you all got here and we all stood against him, he would have been gone a long time ago. But the problem is all the people who come here and then switch up. And so I would say honestly, that's a good question. I would rather you answer, because for me, it just seems like, I don't know. Have you heard of Vanessa Tsahaye? Have you heard of like all the people who speak on huge platforms? Like, they do amazing things, but for some reason, I think the issue is that Higdef runs most of media, right, for Eritrea. If we found a way to get everything we're saying out on everywhere, like hundreds of thousands of views per video, I think that would cause some kind of shift, as well as because the only way they have their power is through propaganda and media. That's literally their power. So if we took over that aspect, then that could help. But also the one thing they have is organization. The one thing they always, the one thing they have is like, not even, it's not organized. They agree on the fact that, one thing they always said, like when I was pro-government, sorry, I'm trying to remember what I want to say. When I was pro-government, they would always say, oh, like anti will never win because they're so divided. And it's true. Like now that I'm here, I realize like we're all so divided and we're having a hard time, but we're coming together. So as we're slowly coming together and all of these groups are starting to identify like our common ground, I think in the next 8 months, a lot of things will change, in my opinion. Just because, like before, when we talked earlier, you were on a conference with a whole bunch of different people. That I didn't know was always happening. Like these are things that like now everyone's kind of on the same page, and I would hope that like the big umbrella opposition people will be able to come together so we can have one very powerful force and we can take over.
I can caveat on her question. Which
Please.
is good. So what she was asking, she said it used to be a norm that Isaias, excuse me, used to be a norm that Isaias, like speaking against Isaias, was, like a bad thing, and that Higdef would be like, hey, we're gonna turn you in. How do you defeat that? We already have started utilizing our platforms. We're turning and shifting the tide. Now we have them running. Now it's Somfari Hamalo. Now it's Somiam Sulam Nuwasidelana because of people like us. When the Eritreans started supporting Tagarus and saying no to genocide, right? This is what people don't understand. Eritrean opposition alone, Hamik Omnerum, they were dead in the water. You didn't hear a lot. You had Sultane, you had what's his name, Kuflom and them that are the Tesfa Mahari and them that was actually still doing their thing, Yeah. But the ones on the ground they were gone. It was like okay, business as usual, just whatever. Then we came and we start lighting everybody on fire. Mish, come on, youth, come with me. Now we made a coup to be opposition. Now all the youth
well, because we're not opposition, they're opposition. We're pro the people. Like
right. I mean, and
yeah, I know, but it's just like
we're cool. The only reason why we're called opposition is because we're outside of it.
Right.
But here's the thing. Now we went from the minority to the majority. Now you go to Higdef parties, you see 10 people. Now you go to Higdef Salam or Selfie, you see 12 people meet the Etio Maharas or whatever, right? I got Muscatum. He's the one I was calling. Sorry, Muscatum. Salamina, I apologize for hanging up, but it was double ringing and I couldn't control it. But I hope I answered your question. Let's call my buddy Muscatum. I adopted this guy, Team Freedom. He's a beast. He's my brother. I like this guy. He's strong, and he's Tigrayan himself, so he'll do well with us.
Perfect.
See if he picks up. Muscatum. What's up, brother?
Yeah, hello.
What's up, brother?
Hi.
What's up, bro? Hey, my concept is, you guys got me on here right now?
You on live, yeah. Everybody's listening.
Yeah, my bad. I'm just trying to. All right, so my concept is this: the reality of our people. And thank you, Captain, for everything that you have done.
Thank you, brother.
Respectfully, you have been a strong element in our society. When I say society, being a Tigray, I really will follow you to the end. With Selam, and you in general, our concept is this. First off, when we look at our society from the beginning of historically, and our history has been tainted, right? So now we have to understand what we're going to fix the history that's been tainted. The reality of what was been created before it was created for us to see what's happening now. Right. So I know you want to, kind of break down what I'm trying to say is if they have already built a history for us and our society, how do we create a society that's going to be fixed up, and I'm pretty sure, Captain Eritrea, you have a better understanding of this. But what can it be that we can fix our society as of now to create this reality that we need for our future? Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. He's asking
I'm sorry. That's my son talking.
Yeah, no problem. No, tell little man we said what's up.
Yeah.
You say what's up, Uncle?
Right. What's up? Let's get him his Team Freedom Tigray chapter.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So he's asking, knowing all that we know now and what we've been trained to think and everything that we've seen and everything that's happened, what can we do to move forward from this point on to better Eritrea and Tigray? Obviously, you and I are working for the unity and of the people. But what else can we do, to work against these? How can everyone be involved to make a change?
And thank God that you said that, because you made it really plain and simple. But what I didn't understand was Mullas was actually mixed breed too. And then we know Isias was mixed. So what do we understand? Going back to what you said, with all of this reality that we have, from Aksumite to Kushites, I remember you brought up that subject years back. But we don't understand this comes from an element of surprise, meaning it's an element of historical meanings. So when we talk now, we talk futuristically, but we didn't even talk historically. That's what we're going to break. We have to break their understanding of history so we can get into the future. Thank you, Captain Merchant, for breaking that down for me, brother.
Thank you, brother. So yeah, she's going to answer your question, and then we'll take another call. So I'll let her answer the question. If you need help, I'll jump in there, and then I'll look on the next one. Thanks, Mescadon. We love you, bro.
All right, we love you too, brother.
All right, peace. So the question is, now we all know that Mullah Zenawi was half Eritrean. We know, besides Turkey, some say half Tigray, and I say he's half Amhara. I don't know what he is. Whatever. There's no Eritrean that's going to kill that many Eritreans. But knowing their history, right? Now that we understand the history, we understand the Aksumite history, the empire. We understand Menelik did this and that for weapons. We understand there's a line drawn in front of Tigray instead of behind Tigray, which it is essentially put it in Eritrea. But the problem is the youth don't know this. The youth only knows what Higdef teaches them or what their families teach them or is teaching them. Knowing that, though, how do we solidify to where people understand the history and can move forward? If you actually understood history of Tigray, right? The Tigray itself. I'm not the rest of you, just Tigray, the Aksumites, right? And let's say there was no Bottoman War, right? Let's say there was no Meles Zenawi. Would Higdef really be hating Tigrayans like that? Or would they be accepting them as their cousins and brothers before Bottoman and all that? Because remember, we also understand EPLF and TPLF were best friends to beat the Dergi, right? Okay. But at one point, everything changed where they became enemies, all because of Isaias's agenda. I'm not saying TPLF is innocent. I'm not saying that. They have their thing, and EP or EPLF has their thing, whatever. I'm just saying, if there was no Bottoman, and we know the history, what could have been, what should have been. And the key indication is when he opened the border, remember when Eritreans went across to Tigray? And they hugged and they kissed and they threw parties.
2018, yeah.
That was Honet. That was love. That was peace. But knowing all this, how can we move forward with all this bloodshed in the future? What do we have to look forward to?
It's funny you say that because I wanted to read one quote from this book that I'm reading. So it's called "I Will Not Grow Downward," and it's by Yekalo Naab. 1 second. And
while you guys are waiting, can you do me a favor? Share. Let's get her to 600. We have a special guest, a great member of Team Freedom.
Okay, so basically in the book, it's talking about. It's just really sad because if you read this book, we're going through the exact same thing right now. It's like we just blinked and it's happening again. But this was at the end, Ethiopia had a civil war, so Wayana started fighting against their government, as well as Eritrea needed their independence. So TPLF and EPLF came together to work together. That only happened because Ethiopia was already was in a civil war itself. But I don't know if things would have played out differently if that didn't happen. Do you think? I don't, But either way, all I'm saying is, I think Eritrea's problem started right when EPLF and ELF started fighting each other, and I don't think we ever recovered. I think that's why we kind of feel like we're two different countries with Higdef. Like, I just feel like in general we've had this mentality where killing our own is normal after that war. But then when TPLF helped EPLF, that was cool. They got their freedom. And so this book right where I'm reading is like
What's the name of the book again?
It's called I Will Not Grow Downward. It's by Yukalo Naab. So great. So basically they were on a bus, and Wayana got on the bus. It was a bus full of Tagalti. So all the buses full of Eritreans who were going back to Asmara, to the highlands from the south of Ethiopia. And when they got there, I guess like when Wayana got on the bus, and he started causing issues with some of the Tagalti, and so there was like this huge argument. A gun was drawn out. It was a lot of stuff. And so what really got me was it's that he said the scene had been so volatile that it is a wonder nobody got hurt. More troubling, at least for me, is the fact that soldiers who supposedly worked together to overthrow Mengistu's army, Ethiopia's rebel Wayanas and Eritrea's Tagalti, are so quick to distrust each other again. If this is how they act now that Mengistu is finally defeated, then what will happen? Then what does it say about any future cooperation between our two countries? And this book was just written, so it's just like I was able to like literally see what would come of it. So I guess I just never knew. The reason I brought that up is because I didn't know there was already kind of a distrust amongst them even during the fight for independence. Is that true? Or like, do you know anything about that? Or I don't know.
In any form of government, you have to understand someone wants to always be in charge. Right. So people talk about the TPLF manifesto, how they wanted one Abai Tigray, right? You got to think about this. If I was a military leader and I was in Tigray and I was in charge of Tigray, right?
You would want that too.
Yeah. And I was working with Eritreans, I would have a backup plan to where I would want to own the whole land. Every king leader in the world thinks like that. Yeah. Just like Isaias Afwerki wants to expand to Ethiopia and own the whole Ethiopia. Right. But people utilize this. What about the TPLF manifesto? I'm not supporting the TPLF manifesto. I personally don't support TPLF. I support Hizbi Tigray. Right. I support the people. I don't support the government. I don't support no government organizations. Yeah. I don't Abiy, Isaias, none of that. Again, there isn't one Abiy. Unelected Prime Minister Abiy. Right. He wants to own Eritrea too. He wants to own the port of Assab, right? Yeah. Isaias wants to own Ethiopia. TPLF wanted one Abai, at least TPLF just wanted one Abai Tigray, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they wanted to probably, but who gave us referendum? Meles Zenawi. Right. See, that's where Higdef can never take that away from history. You can speak against Meles all you want. You can say he's half Eritrean, he's half Tigrayan. Other than defend Tigray and go to war with Sheikh Isaias Afwerki, and we lost a lot of Eritreans then, and Isaias was embarrassed. Isaias was so humiliated, he's paying him back now. Right. For embarrassing him. That's all this is about. That's all it is. Yeah. Yeah, because Meles from the history books didn't want to go to war with him. He wanted to spare the Eritrean people. He didn't want them to die, Mish. Let's at him again.
Full question. I meant to answer the full thing.
So with that, there isn't no leader that we know that doesn't want to expand. So you can't, every country wants to expand. Right. But they didn't. You could say whatever you want. They didn't. They stayed in Tigray. Amhara wanted to stop. Mm-hmm. Now
they're paying Tigray back for giving that to us.
Right. And now not so Isaias is punishing Tigray. I can't answer you right now, brother. You have to wait. So Isaias is punishing Tigray for embarrassing him. And people will say because of the Bottoman War, the amount of Eritreans we lost. Mm-hmm. Okay, what about the amount of Tigrayans were lost either, honey? Mm-hmm. You got to be fair and open your mind. Right. And now that he's attacking Tigray, now you have Abiy also attacking Tigray for the elitists, Amhara elitists, because why? Because Harikom Asab Hibomna, had it not been for Meles Zenawi, Eritrea would have been ours. This is the only reason why Eritrea is even relevant in this war, in this conflict. Had Isaias Donk Oro Sarai would have just stayed in his lane and let Ethiopia handle Ethiopia, this war would have been over. You know why?
Yeah. Why?
Abiy would have been defeated the first 20 days.
By TPLF,
TPLF would have destroyed him completely. But Isaias has to get involved to protect his wife.
Right.
Yeah, and he had to make things more complicated. And for all the hooked up that say, well, Eritrea for Eritreans only. Eritrea, I got a buddy that you were siding with TPLF when I was only saying Eritrea for Eritreans. Bro, you can't say Eritrea for Eritreans if Eritrea is in Ethiopia. Eritrea
Thank you.
Ethiopia. How can you say Eritrea for Eritreans? You should say, in order for Eritrea to be for Eritreans, let's get out of Ethiopia. And then we can worry about Eritrea. How can you say Eritrea for Eritreans when all our soldiers are where? In Ethiopia defending the Dergi.
Right.
All our youngins.
My thing with Higdef is like, why don't we have any real men? Like, why are y'all cool with little boys fighting your battle? Why are you sitting here watching edit TV like, oh yeah, we're winning? You should be embarrassed. First of all, most of you guys who support this, your lives are useless. Just go fight yourself. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy that you're so okay with young kids. Like, these are like, our soldiers are not like other soldiers. They're child soldiers. Like, it just, I'm disgusted. Like, I'm so disgusted. Honestly, because I've always been obsessed with the idea of like a man being masculine and standing at the beginning. I didn't want to be head of nothing. I didn't want to have to be the one speaking on this. Like, I was so happy when you came out, but it just seems like people are willing to die for a bandana, for a color, for anything but something that matters. Like, and I'm not saying that doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, in terms of life, human life, like, it just, because people seem to put their lives in danger all the time. But when it comes to actually changing something, you guys are scared. If you're willing to shoot somebody because they live in a different neighborhood, like a lot of Eritreans here are with it. Like they do gangbang, they do a lot of stuff here. So if you're not scared, you're clearly about that life. Why are you okay with little kids fighting your battle in your homeland? Like it's just disgusting to me, honestly. I'm so confused because these same people who are like, we're winning, we're this, first of all, we're not. These kids are not doing well. You know, we still, I don't think these people have family in Eritrea, because if you did, you'd know that all Eritrean women are crying, that trucks are being full of dead bodies and being sent into Eritrea. Like, we're suffering along with, our people are dying too, just so we could be on the wrong side of history, just so we could be the oppressors. And we still lose. Like, that's so embarrassing. But I want to answer Maskaram's his question, because it's the lack of knowledge. Like, if we can shut down Higdef and call it a terrorist organization, like you've been saying, and getting people in trouble for it, we can make sure that the thing about Eritrea, like in Eritrea, they had community. You have community, right? Like, you have 3 generations living in one house sharing a cancello. Here, we don't have community. So people are obsessed with the idea of community through Higdef. Higdef offers that. Higdef offers parties. Higdef offers groups of, like, for women, groups for, like, people just come together. So that's what they love about it. They're addicted to the idea of their community. If we on the opposition side could create that idea of community and have, like, kind of like a new Higdef where people have their own chapters and, like, come together and don't feel alone, I'm sure it would be way easier for them if they didn't feel like they were going to lose everything for standing on the right side. I don't know. I just feel like if we found ways to offer activities and communities the way Higdef does, we'll be able to get kids in and we'll be able to teach them the real history, whether it's virtually or in person or whatever. I think that's the way. It's like, you just need to like with actual dates, because until I decided, like, denounce the Eritrean government, I didn't know about you guys. I didn't know about Jabha and Shabia fighting each other. I didn't know any of that. So I feel like just being able to learn the real history with the dates and what actually happened and going further our whole identity is based on like the last 30 years. Eritrea has been a civilization for thousands of years. So I think it's important to like really learn it all, and then learn, and then as like Tigray went through a lot of stuff too. And I just feel like if we could learn the real history behind what's actually happened, you'll learn that like we have no business hating Tagaru. We have no business hating anyone really, except for like the Amhara regime. Not Amhara people, but like the regime, the people who stand behind that, the people who think that Haile Selassie was a good man, people who think that all that stuff, like they're my issue. Everyone else though, if we really knew the history, if we were allowed to learn it, if Eritreans were allowed to talk about it, if Eritreans were like allowed to learn it in their own country, only good can come of that. I feel like we would be able to live in peace, and especially because the old people are like going to be gone. If our generation could take over leadership, we'll be able to be cool with everybody, because we know that peace for you means peace for us. This is nonsense where they're just like, oh yeah, go start a war and see what, like these people don't seem to think. Whereas with us, I would think that we would want peace because it would benefit everybody, right? I don't know if that answered his question. I just think that if we got rid of Higdef and then we created this new system of learning about our history and stuff, I don't know. I think I think knowledge is just power. These people lack knowledge. And I don't know.
So Katia Braha had a question. There's too many people calling, so I'm trying to tap in with everyone, brother. Give me a chance. I hope she answered your question. Let's call Kathy Abraha, see what she has to say. I wanted to answer.
Hello.
Hey, Kathy, give me 1 second.
Hi.
How you doing?
Captain Eritrea, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, sister?
I'm good. Hi, Selam.
Hi. Hello.
All right, so I have 2 questions. First one is, I'm from the Bay Area, so we're having a nationwide protest on May 21st. I want to know if you guys are going to be attending.
Oh, yeah. On May 21st, where?
That's great.
Yeah.
So
where in the Bay Area is it?
It's going to be in San Francisco.
Oh, I see. Let me go ahead. Continue.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the flyer.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
The other question is, as a Tigraiti, I struggle with, seeing the Eritrean flag on the opposition side who is supporting the war, and also our Eritrean brothers and sisters who are against the war. That is like, it's kind of like, there's that flag who is encouraging, the killing of my family. And so, like, as a Tigraiti, I struggle. How do I accept this? If you guys could, elaborate and talk to me about it.
So it's really hard for us to even accept, but we've accepted it because they do that to their own people. These are the same people who laughed when 360 something Eritreans died in the ocean for Lampedusa. These are the same people who watched the documentary about Eritrea last night and said, oh, this is nonsense. Like let's go protest this. They're lying. Like, these people are actual evil. and I'm really sorry you guys have to see it, because I can't imagine, what bothers me.
That's the thing. We want you guys to come and support, but I think it is the mental, because you guys can imagine what we're going through.
Right.
For the past 6 months. I speak to Harley. I lost connection with my cousin who lives in Ottawa, and Ottawa has been hit the greatest. And the last time I spoke to him, he had a newborn child during the heavy war fighting. He's been locked in for the first 4 months in the house and not getting out, because that's the only way he could avoid from being killed. And so it's like, we're all going through it. It's emotionally heartbreaking. It's hard to differentiate that. We want the support. We want to know that there's more, people from Eritrea that care about humanity, like political aside, the humanity aspect of it. And we do need that support. But that is a struggle for me,
Well, sister, I can say this. Team Freedom, we're there. You obviously, you know, I'm there. So is Salem. And that Salam selfie that we did in LA, even though a lot of Eritreans were actually working during that Salam selfie, there was, I alone brought 120 something plus from San Diego. There were, according to our administrator guy, there was like 950. That Salam selfie was huge. Now,
yeah, it was amazing. And I know because the person who you coordinated with, Mike, is one of my good friends I went to high school with. So
yeah,
yeah.
that was awesome. So there is a lot of Eritreans that are against the genocide. There's a lot of Eritreans that support Tagarus and don't want this to happen because they consider you cousins or neighbors or brothers or however they view their political ideologies. But there's a lot of them that can't publicly come out because even though Tagarus, you guys had freedom, you not in that, you had your country, you know. Eritreans, you have to understand, this is nothing new to them. They've been locked down in prison, killed, stabbed, destroyed. I mean, this is nothing new to them. So when you guys are experiencing this is heavy on you guys for 6 months. And Eritreans been dealing with this for 30 to 60 years. So it's almost like some of them are numb. They don't know how to take this. And but for the ones in the diaspora, like myself and Salem, we're like, this is ridiculous. Not only are you embarrassing our people, now you want to go into Tigray. We're talking about Esaias and Hegdef. But the Eritreans that are against the genocide, regardless if they support Esaias or not, as long as they're against genocide, you should accept them open-handedly. Like, oh, you know, be like, hey, I accept you. You're against the genocide, then you're with me. And same way I do with Tagarus. There's a lot of Tagarus that probably despise Eritreans, but they don't despise Captain Eritrea because my stance is clear and I'm consistent. I don't jump back and forth. You know, I don't say one day I hate Tagarus, one day I love Tagarus. No, I don't. I say no to genocide. I say you guys are our cousins. You know, I stick to the script. I'm not confused. I understand what's happening, but I'm very, very clear of who my enemy is. You know what I mean? I know Hegdef and his side support are my enemy. No one has to tell me that. All you have to do is look at Eritrea and you will understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys. You know, keep doing what you're doing. You know, hopefully the movement continues to get mobilized and grow. So best of luck and thank you.
Thank you, sister. We love you. Keep your head up. Stay strong.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Ciao. All right, let's take. I know it's been a while. We're like going on almost 2 hours. Don't worry, I want to keep it too much longer. Let me say hi to our sister so I can add her on Facebook. All right, Miss Adams calling again. All right, brother, you're back on.
Yeah, I'm back on. Hey.
Hi.
Selam is Eritrean, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what in effect that you believe that you can have that concept with Tigray without understanding the concept, what was happening now in this time? How can she even have this conversation?
I don't get it.
So she was in Eritrea and she seen Sawa. She
It
wasn't.
doesn't matter if she's from Eritrea. She's not from Tigray. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, but we're confused.
Listen to what I'm trying to explain to you, because I know the mother of my child was Alambasa. She's seen, but how is an Eritrean gonna explain her factor? You know, with respect. But one thing I didn't understand is, coming from a powerful family, how did she even think she could talk on this concept? I was watching her, you know, her little message book, and I was going through it. But she only understands one thing, bro. When it comes to Tigray, you have to understand, we understand Tigray only. If Eritrea would never exist without us. You understand? That's the concept I'm trying to get.
Yeah, brother, but she's not disputing that.
I know it's Garcia, 1990s, when these Eritrean women was getting raped by Italians. She should be speaking about them. She never talked. I did my research. She never even talked about Eritreans getting raped by Italians.
Actually, my last video does bring up Italians.
Well, I was watching you on your YouTube page. Yo, what did you do when Eritreans was getting raped? I'm talking about raped by Italians. I'm talking about the devastation. Did you read? Did you understand the story that I'm going to send you in your inbox? You didn't even understand what you did for your people. Now when Tigray comes, Now you have a stance. Understand our people. We're not like you, bro. I no disrespect to you. Captain Eritrea, I love you.
You getting disrespectful, sir.
Well, no, well,
Yeah, just like change your tone.
I'm trying to understand him. Let me try to understand him. I still don't understand what's happening.
Where was she when he told me he was raping 10 people, brother?
Bro,
She didn't do that. I was watching.
she's in her.
Nobody did that for their people.
Brother, she's in her 20s.
Did you say Italians?
I don't know.
But the only reason is that only thing that we have is the power of our people. That's it, brother. That's it.
But she's so. But look, bro, look. But
How
she.
do you feel about yourself when you see that you going and trying to act like nigga? We're not peasants. We're not poor. We're not Italian. We're not even raped. We know our language. We know our people. The food that you got is our people. The glimpse that you got is our people. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Queen Sheba was from Agane. But you know what they used to say about the Tigray people, Eritrean? Agane, not Agane. Who you know us? We were created by the reality of what you know. And the thing is, you look at your maker, and now you're trying to look at we as a beggar for your maker. We are your maker, no matter what. And
Are you sober?
I'm trying to understand it. No, he's not.
Oh, he's okay. Okay, yeah, I'm not offended. I'm hearing him. I just want to hear,
I think he's misunderstanding our stance on Tigray. I think he's in his feelings. That's okay, because but look, everybody's going through however they deal with the situation, and that's okay. But he has to understand. You and I are speaking on behalf of the genocide victims. You and I are not speaking against the genocide victims. I mean, we're saying no to genocide.
Right.
I think somehow, some way, when we were talking, he must have misunderstood you as like you were supporting it or something. But he's
he's so stressed out right now. Like, I'm over here chilling. Like, I didn't mean
it. You're okay. Listen. Let's get him as real. I know, but the reason why I didn't want to shut him down. The reason why I didn't want to shut him down is because people need to hear
the raw emotion.
Yes, and that's what Team Freedom. I want people to hear when these Higdef people sit there and support genocide. When these Higdef people sit there and they disrespect Tagarus, right?
Right.
They need to hear how these people are feeling. You know, he might have been taking it out on you and I, or you direct or whatever, about Italians and where were you? Well, you weren't born.
No, I really like even off the live. Like, I just want to understand what he thinks.
I couldn't. He was going in too hard. I couldn't understand the question. But the thing is, I don't want to be the guy that shuts people down.
No, yeah, of course.
When they're in their feelings. But I understand your stance. Your stance is exactly like mine. He has to know you and learn you, like they all have learned me, obviously, to understand what's happening. Yes, that's how everyone is feeling. When you see Tigrayans go against Eritreans, this is how they're feeling. This is how deeply rooted. They're saying, now you're speaking on Tigrayans, but where were you when your people were getting raped? Where were you when your people were getting killed? We're helpless, bro. What can we do? T.R.A.P has taken over Eritrea, and there's Sarautin Donkorotat who support him. So we were not able to do nothing until now. We finally got a platform and the opposition is up.
Right.
So we're not mad at you, my brother. We're not. I'm not mad at you. Salem's not mad at you. We're Team Freedom.
I think he's mad at us, but like, and that's fine. It's just, like this last message that Sarah, Jesus is Lord. To be honest with you, I don't really blame Tigrayans if they're upset with Eritreans, because I put myself into their shoes. I completely agree. Like, I feel like, we're like what our people are doing to them. Like, I don't mind being a punching bag. Like, and I kind of wish that when I used to have this conversation with Ethiopians before all this, like specifically Amhara, like I wish they understood that same feeling that I'm now able to understand. Like, I know I didn't do anything to you personally, but my people did. So you have every right to feel how you do. Unfortunately, it's not right, but it's just like you're going through so much. Like, I don't know, but I just really want to understand what he.
He's in his emotions. Now, not the time to understand him. But I will tell you this: But Eritreans also have the same argument. You did this to us in Badame. You entered Eritrea. And Isaias support you use gas. They could have took Isaias out then, but for some reason Melizanawi decided not to. So a lot of Eritreans have the same argument where they're like, "Bro, I'm not gonna answer you right now, bro.
Can you please answer?
No, I'm not gonna answer him. I called him twice, or I let him in twice. He had that look. That's my boy. I like him.
Yeah.
I let him speak twice. First one, he came with respect. Second one, it was too much to understand. Once he calms down, I'll call him direct and we can handle it that way. But this show ain't about disrespecting my guests or, no, this show ain't
I don't feel disrespect. I just feel like, what if there are other people who mistook our message? Like, I want to understand what part could have been misinterpreted, but
but that's the thing, Salem. Because of what's happening, there's a lot of psychological issues. There's a lot of people that are going through a lot of crazy things. There are a lot of people who cannot live till tomorrow. They're like, what am I going to do? My people are dying. This is true feelings on the show. This is what people need to see. That's why I didn't shut him down. He called, I talked to him. These other people calling too. He's not the only one. There's a lot of people calling. So my thing is, we understand. But what I'm trying to say is Eritreans have been dealing with this for a long time too. You have to understand. This is new. This is not nothing new to Eritreans because Eritreans are numb to this. Eritreans have been dealing with this. Eritreans are in prison. We're speaking out for our people, you and I. And he's very, very passionate about what's happening to his people.
Right.
But he can't blame Captain and Salem because you and I escaped Eritrea. So yeah, we can be your punching bag, bro. But how can you take it out on me? I'm supporting you and saying no to genocide, and I'm saying no to Isaias Forking.
Mind you, we're getting our identities questioned left and right. We're having
not only our identities, Mascaram has to understand, it ain't even just our identities. You and I are on the chopping block for Higdef. You and I are literally number one enemy to Higdef. If that doesn't mean anything to anyone, you have to understand. I am in danger. My family is in danger. Salem is in danger. That's more than what anybody else is willing to do. And at the same and stand against Isaias. And at the same time, I'm saying my Tigrayan brothers and cousins shouldn't be dying.
Right.
Other than grabbing a weapon and going to Eritrea and handling business myself, there's nothing more I can do. So I understand. I respect you, my brother, and I love you. But you are out of pocket. You know what I mean? And you
I guess like what I wanted to understand the most was.
Well, let me finish talking to my brother. I respected you, Mascaram. You're my brother, and I love you for that. You're Tigrayan, cool. But when you're out of pocket, you got to get checked, bro. And the way you got to go about it is you call, like our sister did, and she said, look, our people are going through this and this. We said, yes, sister, we have your back. This is what we could do to fix the problem. But attacking and yelling and all that is zero solution. What do we achieve from that right there? Nothing, bro. We achieve nothing. You called, you're in your feelings. I'm in my feelings. She's in her feelings. That is the problem. This is what Higdef wants. Higdef wants you to see what's happening to your people. They're doing this to your people. So you can take it out on me and her, the people that are supporting you. In that situation, only Higdefawi wins. Nobody else wins. So had you and had myself and Salem been different type of people, we'd have been like, you know what? Who cares? Now we just created an enemy. Who's winning? Isaias, Abi. That is the exact reason why Yu'umutsu, genocide, Gobru, Surku, so Eritreans and Tagarus can't what? Get along. It's simple psychological game, but you have to be strong enough to weather that storm. But me calling and yelling, and we can't even understand his question. I love the man, but I can't understand his question. I tried my best, so we have to move on. And when he's cooler, then I can talk to him, be like, hey, brother, you all right? Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Again, Miss Cannon, we love you, bro. I'll be in touch. Right now, I need you to kind of zahel a little bit. We're just doing it live. We're trying to highlight the atrocities in Eritrea and Tigray. we did not lose any respect for you. But there's a time and place for all this, bro. Go ahead, so.
Yeah, I guess like the part I heard, it just seems like he only checked my YouTube, which I just started like maybe 2 months ago. But he was like, "Where were you for this, bro?" Okay, if you check my Instagram, I've at least been here since January 2019, at the very least.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like even that, like, I don't know. It's a hard position
listen.
to understand.
You're Eritrean.
Mm-hmm.
You're anti-Isaias. You're anti-Abi. You're anti-genocide.
Right.
You have a huge following. The world knows your stance, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've even been to Eritrea and Sawa and everything else. You've seen for yourself to ensure what you're saying is valid.
Right.
What more can you do? Other than grab a gun, what more can you do? You support Tigrayans. I support Tigrayans. We don't want no genocide. What more can you do? You can only do as much as Mascaram. What more can he do? He's going to come on here, speak on live, support his Tigrayans, and I think he's half Oromo and Tigrayan. He's going to support his people, same way you're supporting your people. He can't do nothing more than you could do.
Right.
But what is the point of me and you talking on live? What is the point of all this? To highlight and educate the people that certain things like this doesn't happen. Where I'm going, can you imagine Cyber Power? Mike Tigray is my boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Danny Denver, my boy. Danny Primo. I mean, my man Primo, my boy. These are heavy hitters in the game for Tigray, right?
Okay.
Imagine if we didn't have the ability to communicate. Can you imagine? Hey, Mike, what's up? I don't care. You don't know what's happening to my people. You're Eritrean. Click. Then we're getting nowhere. You're defeating the purpose of what we're doing. We need to highlight the atrocities in Eritrea. We need to highlight the atrocities in Tigray. And then like you see in the Selam selfie in LA, everyone should have learned from that. As a Hizbi, when we collectively work with Tagaros, you cannot stop that train. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Amhara with the pistol. I don't care if you're police in the US. No one can stop that train in LA. Right. Once that train started rolling, all you saw was Tigrayans and Eritreans everywhere. Every beach was shut down. The whole LA was shut down. Right. That's power. But that wasn't successful through arguments and feelings. Mm-hmm. We went on Zoom with our Tigrayans brothers, planned that. There were feelings during the Zoom, and we all checked each other. Wait, don't get mad. I love you. Come to Papa. Come to me. You know what I mean? Huggy. Yes, your people are suffering. So are mine. You know what I mean? Right. Let's go. And Mascaram, he's a good dude. I know Mascaram. Trust me. I talk to Mascaram all the time. But I think he don't know you, so certain things hit a nerve. That's okay. Yeah. We want the people to see this. I want them to see this. Yeah. So if you're Eritrean, and there's a lot of Eritreans that go against Tigrayans, they use TPLF as an excuse to go against Tigrayans. Yeah. They don't say no to genocide. You know what they say? No, I don't like Tigrayans because TPLF.
TPLF. Mm-hmm. Imagine everyone in America being killed for Donald Trump's actions. Yeah. Like, it don't make no sense. So it doesn't make any. And there's so
I don't like you because you're Eritrean. You're like, what? What did I do to you? You're Tigrayan, I don't like you. It's just nonsense. Don't quote us out easy. We cannot get ahead with this. Right. So I have to understand you to work with you. Right. When I met you, I talked to you for hours. I watched your videos. But the thing Mascaram has to also understand is how many female Eritreans have came on the show and said, I used to be pro-Isaias. I used to be pro-Higdef.
Yeah, like, give me some credit. I made it pretty far.
Now my brain is fixed. I denounce Higdef. How many? Yeah. You are my hero because you were able to go from zombie to human. You know what I mean?
To a contributing member of society, yeah.
Right. So people have to understand that. That's brave. That's brave. And through unity, love, and respect, and once my man comes back to his senses, we'll be rocking. Right. But I'm proud of how you handle that. You handle that eloquently, and it's a lot of respect for you because me and my show, we're respectful.
Yeah.
But there's times where dudes will write something and I'll be like, hold on, bro. Like there was one girl when we did the Selam selfie in LA. She's going like this. We got Tigrayans. We don't have no Eritreans. But check it out. As she's doing all this,
Eritrean
on my
flag.
Selam selfie, Team Freedom Captain Eritrea Selam selfie, guess who's walking all around her? Melee, blue flag, Eritrean flag. We're like, look.
Right.
Whatever. But I'm not gonna go against her because she also is in her feelings.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with her in San Diego, so she's in her feelings. I don't hold nothing against her. And I want you to answer. I know I'm over talking you, but check this out.
No, it's fine.
The psychological and mental state that people suffer from seeing all this on a daily for 6 months. Yeah. You've seen heinous, horrendous acts. Mish, how else do you expect people to react? How else do you expect Meskedem to? I believe he was actually nice.
Yeah, I think if it was the other way around, man, I would.
Right. For people, you can't be mad at Meskedem. I believe he could have been cussing us out.
No, I'm not mad. I'm actually sad he left mad. Like, bro.
Right. No, I mean, no, but it has to be a conducive learning environment. It's the only reason why I have to stop him, because we're not getting anywhere. But he didn't cuss. He didn't say he was mad. He still held it together. So I give him respect for that. You know what I mean? Anyways, but continue. What do you think about what was my question? I lost my train of thought. In the mental state, I think they're affected with the mental state, right? Do you agree?
Are we talking about Higda?
No, just Eritreans and Tagaru. So what's happening?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think we understand the fact that like most humans from most places suffer up to this level, and we've surpassed that. And so we just think this is normal. But like for especially like what Tagaru are going through right now, like every morning being like, which one of my family members didn't make it, or like, you know, just I can't even imagine like what they go through in their homes. And to like at least like. The sad thing is when they're talking to their family members on their phone, the family can tell them what's actually going on. I can call my cousin 90 times in 5 years and she will not tell me about her life because she knows she can get caught. Like the phone lines are tapped. So there's that. I think we like, you know, they kind of save us from having to hear the actual in detail things that our Tagaru brothers and sisters have to hear now. I just feel like in general, every Eritrean that I know, like especially in the older generation, they don't even think life is about enjoying it. They're just like, you're supposed to just survive, like suffer and survive till you die. Like that's really it. And so with that mentality, we have very low morale as a people, I feel like. And so I don't know if it's like mental illness. Well, Higda, if it's a mental illness, but if it's like, if you're just, for the rest of us, I think it's like you've just reached you've reached the level of you've surpassed the level of trauma that you're supposed to go through, and after that everything just becomes normal and you become kind of numb. I think we're just numb. Okay, so there's a lady I respect a lot. Her name's and we'll wrap it up here shortly. I know you've been on for a while and you didn't sign up for all this, but there's a lady named I call her Ade Almaz Hagos. I'm gonna call her right now. Hopefully she picks up. Okay.
Hello.
Ade Almaz, Salam. تهانا لنا مصحفتي سلام الله بقنا Oh, thank you. أغريت تعب زي عن توي حونا دولنا روحي was a little upset. Okay, yeah.
كل سب تحكوا سايت خليني خا كل سب سمعت الله حركان الله نقول سب سايت قبرت خليني خا استك على كات قبر
واني
دحول لاين كا دويل كات ردو
how are you could do Team Freedom again either dana you know why feelings not to homolo because his beat a fallo حقه
yeah انا بحق ابوتهم كان كافتري كنخا احنا 6 عامت خمو خيناينا نام كويناينا you know them is ناينا يتقبلوا حزب إرترا تقبلوا ناتيلو تقبلوا كل تي ورد الله نعم كنا زشت شورحي حد شيو ريوم مزيفولت كوينهم موديفولت يوم دريزولو بتاع ما خاد حزني كم سب كوين كم مش كم إرشاوي كم تجراي كم همان بي كم سب كوين كخد أبوتهم بتريو كلها دك أصليتي سخلاك كحماي بتاع موردهم زول حماي
أوه cause ناتنا روم ناتهم عدهم they were good so زي حديش مسمعت كم قال لي سمعك كز ناي شيطان صراحي
بتعني نسلام بتعني يا مسكنا نسخخو فيلا كله نبرا زعبيت كله زبلت له هدف ناي كم سمعيا كله زبلته كم أبو زحات قلت له أنا استفلتهم عايوش تغيرهم مزيومكم يلهم كزاروا وي ولا مزيومكم زي تزاروا فاني عايوش وزيهم أبصرجيا هو كله مسانا مستقاروا مسقواتنا حادو هنا كم فقبلوا تصفى قبر زول عزي أخا بتعني مسكنا يدنقايا الشيء والعيا والسرانشوات العامة تقونا مستادك أي مالتيو أنا نعازلة ناي دف جزء عبيا أدي أنا بوان تدف يوم مسلني تغيرهم دوني ولا skill نيسير support قبرو
You knew that question was coming.
Right, yeah.
So if you want to, okay, if you can answer that. I know her personally.
Okay.
Beautiful woman. But answer it however makes you comfortable. If you feel like it puts anyone at risk, then you know how to move accordingly.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Huh? No, she said answer however you like. She respects it.
Yeah. So luckily I didn't know until after I started speaking out, but my mom has been secretly hagdaf. She was scared. I mean, and government, she was scared to tell me. And then when I started speaking out, she was so proud. So that's the only reason I had morale. Like if I didn't have my mom on my side, it would have been bad. But my dad is still hagdaf. I've protested against him before at a festival. I don't understand him, like how he thinks. It makes me upset. But yeah, so one of my parents is hagdaf and one is not, luckily. And so for those kids that Almaz was saying, like she knows that actually feel the same way that I did. My only blessing was at least one of my parents supported me, because I can only imagine I would have been scared I wouldn't have done it if I was going to lose both my parents to this, and luckily I didn't lose anybody. Like, we still respect each other, we still love each other, but most families would probably disown you because Isaias is like their god. So
yeah,
I have the same problem with my sister. They all had deaf. I'm the only Jabha from my family.
Jigna.
I went to Jabha when I was 14.
Wow.
And I was oldest war and everything in Jabha until 1983. I came 84 in America until Koroban, until the end. Mm-hmm. I was there. So my family, sometimes they get embarrassed by me because I'm against the government from day one.
They should be proud of you.
Right.
They should be proud of you.
Embarrassed by them, yeah.
And now it's like they don't. I don't contact them. They don't contact me because I'm Jabha and I'm against they're still I don't know when they're going to change. Some of them, they're 60, 70, and it's going to be too late by the time they're gone. So I want them to change. I want them to see. I want to see the pain what the other people suffering. Okay, they're not suffering, my family, but the other people are. The other people is your family too, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, thank you, Gwale. Maybe Abohi Lomi Hasabu Irhowan, the show.
Oh, he will never watch this.
After this show, show him, send him this video maybe, or tell your mom if she's watching. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of her supporting you. And Dawit, always I love you.
Thank you.
And I'm behind you 100%, no matter what. The first time I went to Selam, it was in LA. LA, it was beautiful. And I enjoy everything. Even if you come in again, Dawit, let me know. I'm gonna be there.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't care. I'm gonna be there. That was my first time.
Wow.
40-something.
Miss Wadikha Dawit Hoil kept after 40 years.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, the last time I was open my mouth all in Sudan, in Jabha, all this stuff. And then after that, I just I was against the government. I was against everything, but I never spoke out like that. I never on the street, Salem selfie bandera, blue bandera, Histana Jabha Semai. I was fighting for the blue flag,
Team
and
freedom.
I was on the street with my oldest daughter, and and my other kids saw, and then I wish they were there, but they were working, and I'm it's okay. There's another time, this is not the end. So we have more is coming. We're gonna do more, I hope.
So what motivated you, Ade Almaz, to get out there with us?
David, it's you.
Oh,
You changed me everything. I tell you, with the way you speak, the way you and people do, there's something about you, just like your dad. I know your dad. I know your mom. I love your dad.
Thank you, Ade Almaz. We love you too.
This is you. And what happened in Tigray? Are you kidding me? They're raping 14, 7. Did you see the little girl that they cut her leg? It is everything. It's like, it's nightmare. I can't sleep at night. The more I think about it, the more I talk about it, I just get, it hurt. Someday we're gonna pay the price,
Yes,
we're gonna pay the price.
Yeah, but then
I mean, who's gonna pay the price? But if we're not, you guys, our grandkid is gonna pay this price. What is us doing to Tigray right now?
Yeah.
Sadly, no, you're 100% right. And the sad thing about it is, I want the Tigrayans to understand there's a lot of Eritreans. When I say Eritreans, older Eritreans, younger Eritreans, everything that it hits us. It hits us hard. Like, we're watching this. You're the victim. You're dealing with all this. Imagine being related
to the people
doing this. Can you imagine? You're a God-fearing person. You're a proud Eritrean, and people are doing this to you. And then I have to say they're my people. Can you imagine how that feels, guys? Like,
can I say this to you? My sister, she's from Shabia. She went Shabia in 1975. We don't talk. She got embarrassed by me because I'm being in Jabha. Her two sons, she have only 2 kids. I don't know they're alive or dead. They're at the war after Migumbaralo. I don't know they're still alive. I don't know Tamari Homdium. I don't know Togium. I don't know they're still alive or dead. Yeah. Imagine that. My sister, her own kid. أبوكينا شعبي أنا رأي زخلو ناسنا تامسيا still دفتامن still نسي أستامن كمناتا God and embarrassed by her own sister and after Mugumbaralo alone them I don't know and there's other family member but this is close I say my sister and there's other family nephews nieces there's nobody knows where they are. So the kisa hatter the kayab zihizet no اتيامون the kayam نسهم زقبروا حاجات هيكونن اتمن قصي إرفرا زومتوا حاجات اتم عبيتنا الشعبية زومتوا حاجاتي إذن إحنا نقبر زلنا إذن إحنا نواجه إز قبر زلوا نخاف لا تروح نخاف إذا نقول اعتزيهم مرجعان يروام تملي سوم الشعبية من قصي إرفرا وجوا قال ما أنت يقولوني نسهم بس كم تحاسبهم حنقولهم تحاسبهم حنقولهم تمرزوا قولهم تمرزوا زكبر الله الزور زلنا بدأ لتجري صباح نجها بحر بينهم
وين
سؤال حمالتيو so I'm sorry حزك الله online أيدليني بحصل الكادلي thank you سي عدل ذهب كاني and كم جمرة كسب حجي يريله استيل كوريا أجهز قالي نفعي تفعي ما تبهال support كجبركي I hope أبوغي لازم مسرعي حسابي يغير كأيري أجوخي
I hope so
تفرحي تحمري نفعي ويتهلق كون نخي تيم كابتن إرسا مسا فريدم مسخلنا and داويت وديك مسخله أجهز قالي okay
team freedom
برغمشات as كريوكم يك سبتودو so keep doing that what day okay
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Adele Maz. We appreciate you being part of Team Freedom, and we appreciate the kind words to Haftana Salem. So, book gara hijikam kabnata is a high platform alo up to Instagram. Tahagzanilla hayilna ina manase ta akibna ina.
That's good. That's good.
We're strong.
That's good. That's good. That's all we need. Okay. Soon it's gonna be كوجهيو. أجهم كوجهيو. أي أبز تدوي لني كوجهيو. إذا عدها ناتكم يا. ناتنا زي كنا عبينانا. زي هناتكم يا. نحكم تقاليسنا. دوق حالكم مثلنا. أي وجهن إسياسة سلميتوا. حجي نسخاتكم تقالصوا. زيناتكم عدل حجي. نحنا مساهم علينا بزخنة. سبورت من قبلكم هنا. زي ناتكم يو. زمان إسيات أجهم زمدك أي عبيتنا أشوفهم. عبيت مساهم لنا ثم نعشتوا أبجاحاتكم تسمعون نحدكم تغالطوا دور زلوا حمايو.
Thank you.
دور زلوا حمايو.
Thank you, Adele Maz.
مشت out of the line Sunday out of the day. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ade.
Bye.
Okay,
Salam. أجوي أجمعي.
Thank you. Harai. Yanele.
Bye.
All right, guys. We've abused, invited her. She got used to this kind of was her attention. She took a little punishment. She was on the spot. Get used to our sister Salem. She's gonna be coming to Team Freedom. Zaraba Buzar with the Olanas show. I know it got emotional a few times, but I love that. I love because me and Salem, we didn't practice, we didn't organize. Salem, what's up, Captain? You want to go live? Okay, Captain. But let's just go raw. Kamzelo and I kurina. Haraiza Hawaii. Let's go. No practice. Harai. So you have to give her credit for this. There's only a few people able to do this and take this pressure and heat. And I wanted to get comfortable because she's going to be coming live on Team Freedom News to give us news. I'll be joining her. We'll be doing a lot. I could talk to this lady for hours, 3, 4, 5. We can go for hours, but Saraha lana, family lana, you guys understand. If we, I did want to, there was one guy, I forgot his name. I forgot his first name, something, Mohammed. Yes, just the Abai Tigray TPLF thing manifesto. People talk about it, but I've personally never seen any paperwork at Juan Bale, so I don't know if that's true or false. But I mean, people do talk about the TPLF manifesto because they've seen something, I guess, paperwork. I don't know. I personally haven't, so I can't say yay or nay. Just to answer your question. But with our brother Maskeram, I wanted to thank him for making the show eventful because he gave us that spark that we were looking for because we were just talking. Maaza, thank you. Salamina, thank you. Everyone that's been supporting us. I'll give you a few moments to say what you got to say to our people, and they're going to get used to you because you're part of Team Freedom, sister. Go ahead.
Like what you were just saying with the Abai Tigray and even like with the Abai Ethiopia, like you can't blame people for saying what they wish. Like Mufti Dina, when he said what he said a few weeks ago, it's like, or Dina Mufti or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, okay, they're allowed to wish whatever they want, but
Right.
Are we going to defend what is ours? Like, that's our job. Our job is not to control what other people want, what other people wish for. At the end of the day, Eritrea is a beautiful place. It has 300 plus islands. It's paradise. It has so many different terrains where different things grow. So much can happen from what's just already grown there in terms of helping the economy. I'm not going to let that one man win. Like, we have to be allowed back in our country. And not only that, we're going to keep it our country. Like, that's our job. Our job is not to police what manifesto so-and-so had. Everybody wants that land. It's by the Suez Canal. It's perfect location. So it's just kind of dumb. Like when people argue about like, oh, well, they wanted this. Like you said, every leader and every king has a backup plan to rule more than what they get. And so our job isn't to worry about what other people want, what other people say they like, whatever. Our job is to make sure we're guarding what's already ours, and we're lacking because the same people who we're talking about, well, Tagaru want Abai Tigray, you guys are protesting with the Lion of Judah flag, so we have nothing to discuss here. But yeah, that was one thing I was adding to what you just said. But other than that, I just want to say thank you. This is my first live, and it wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good.
We took some phone calls just because
yeah, it was cool. Man,
thought you did very well. You handle yourself accordingly, professionally. You're smart. You're intelligent. We need that. We need women representation in Team Freedom, and I'm glad you joined the team. I'm glad you're no longer Higdef, and I'm glad you're on my side.
I'm on your side.
Yes,
And we're gonna ruin East Africa's life.
yes, that's the plan. So with that said, Team Freedom, we love you guys.
Thank you.
We salute you. We won't stop until. Oh, thank you, Salamina. I love Salamina. Look what she did. Let me show you what Salamina does for me.
I saw already. I saw it. She kept saying
She's
it.
making sure Captain Eritrea at youtube.com because Facebook nahafte naayin salamina ya'atsuna. You guys don't know the problems. We go from having 2,000 viewers to like 200. Ya'atsuna. They block us. That's why we're not doing it for money, fame, none of that. Again, we need to get our message out, and they keep blocking us and blocking us. I don't know. Kami ganyan and nakasate sabeti hagdef of Facebook sarah sila. Even Salamina's Salamina, even Salem's been dealing with that. So when I say subscribe to my YouTube, Captain Eritrea, youtube.com, and Salem is at Instagram, and I think they're on Twitter too.
I just deleted my Twitter now.
Well, because I just got on Twitter, so we're trying.
Okay.
So please, Haguzuna, before you guys go, there's 200 people. Share Gaboto. I want to see 200 shares right now. Where when I get off, it says 300 shares, because people have been watching. I think this video was great, and Team Freedom, we're proud of you. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna shake up the world. There's been next time, myself and Salem will come and give you guys the breakdown how we're going to do Team Freedom per state, per country. I'm very excited. We've got more and more power, more people coming in, and we're going to rock this out. Thank you, Team Freedom. We love you.
Thank you, guys.
Signing out.
Good night.
Good night. Share. 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 Please share.
Before you go.
Right.